Raise awareness about gender-based violence. Crime statistics show 15 women are murdered in the country every day, with 115 rape cases reported daily. Holthausen says 1 out of 13 rape cases are reported.
If you are a woman in South Africa, you have to adjust your life to look over your shoulder whenever you leave the house, to walk in fear, as you do whatever is in your power not to become the next statistic.
The Trauma Centre is also calling on government to strengthen the justice system to ensure successful prosecutions of these cases. Holthausen says only 10% of rape cases that are reported to authorities result in a conviction. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And there are growing concerns that fear of legal liability is hindering efforts to reduce food waste in South Africa. Consultant in natural resources and environment practice Carly Fratelli-Davi says that while sell-by dates protect consumers, retailers and suppliers also need protection. Fratelli says South Africa will need a solution that's tailored to its own context. Camray Clark reports.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal aims to reduce global food waste by 50% by the year 2030. South Africa's progress has been limited as the country loses 10 million tons of edible food across the supply chain in the face of 13.8 million people that suffer from food insecurity. In September, the European Union revised their waste directorate with concrete targets for member states. A 10% reduction in processing and manufacturing food waste and 30% for retailers, food services and households. Natural resources and environment practice consultant Carly Fratelli-Davi says the country needs more data collection before implementation.
So I think just understanding our landscape is really important before we try and implement measures that may work overseas, but there's no guarantee that it works here.
Fratelli-Davi suggests that the issue bears much room for innovation. Camray Clark, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,074.74 an ounce. The rand is at 17.23 to the dollar, 22.53 to the pound, 19.86 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.54 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays reported on the N3 North. This is between the Van Buren Road and the Kilulis interchange, and that's due to that road closure as you approach the Kilulis turn off. And there's also more road closures, the R21 South as well as the R24 West. And if you're traveling on the Mike 1 North, bumper to bumper traffic towards the Kran interchange, do expect delays coming out of Boyson's Road.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with afternoon thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 27 degrees. The top story in EW and the Sour. Preparations are underway for a nationwide shutdown against gender-based violence and to honor victims.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, happy Friday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. How was your week? Oh, what a week, hey? I hope you had a good one. If it was all over, like mine, let's hope for a better week next week. But listen, thank you for joining us here on 702. We'll try make this end of the week better for you, all right? The 702 open line starts right now on 011-883-0702. You can send us a WhatsApp voice note if you wish on 072-702-1702. What are you grateful for this week? This is a question I ask you every single Friday because we do Gratitude Friday on the 702 open line every Friday. This is where you can tell us what you are grateful for this week. Give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note. We want to celebrate with you. Are you taking part in the women's shutdown today? The GBV shutdown led by Women for Change is taking place this morning. I've seen a few ladies wearing black in the office today. So there are a few that are participating. Are you participating? Participants, I think, are meeting at several points across the country. The organization is basically asking government to declare gender-based violence a state of disaster. Yesterday, you may have heard the president saying GBV was being treated like a national crisis, which the organization has acknowledged as an extraordinary moment, but the shutdown does continue. How are you participating in this shutdown? Are you wearing black? Have you changed your profile picture to purple? Are you taking to the streets? Will you lay down for 15 minutes? Because that's what some others will be doing as well. Let me know. Here's a question about what's coming up this weekend. What do you think should be the attitude of our government towards America? Because, wow. What do you think should be our government's attitude towards America? The vice president was meant to come to the G20. Then the president, Trump, said the US won't be represented. So it's a total boycott. South Africa respected that and made it clear that the plans continue with or without the US. World leaders confirmed that they will attend the summit. Those who can't attend have sent their high-level delegations. And I don't think the US president liked that, because he probably thought that by boycotting the summit, other world leaders are going to follow suit. Instead, G20 members sent their senior delegations. The EU is here, the Group of Seven, their allies in the BRICS Plus formation, you name it. So the summit continues, and I think the US administration is probably feeling left out. So then enter the next tactic. The US then says they won't recognize any joint declaration of leaders at the end of the summit because there won't be consensus, because they won't be there. But they're the ones that have opted not to participate. So why can't the leaders who are participating have consensus and agree on a joint statement? In fact, I suspect that the US is going to try to put pressure on some G20 countries not to support a joint declaration. I mean, there are some countries that have already expressed support for a declaration, which is great. Countries like, I think, Germany, France, the UK as well, if I'm not mistaken. But there are countries that may crumble under President Trump's pressure when it comes to the joint declaration. I mean, some of our countries, there are countries out there that don't want to annoy the US president. Now, if that doesn't work, and so far it doesn't seem like it's working, if that's what's been happening behind the scenes, the US administration then will need another plan. And there is another plan. Late yesterday, the US said they will send a charge d'affaires to receive the gavel, which represents the transfer of power. Because remember, America takes over the G20 presidency next year. I mean, my goodness. I'm actually fearing what's going to happen next year. Forget the fact that we may not be invited. I see that. But they are probably next year going to push for a more linear outfit of the G20. They're probably going to push for its reconfiguration, which may include the removal of the EU, the removal of the AU. Who knows? Anything is possible. What happens even to the declarations or the resolutions at the end of the summit? It's going to be difficult to actually implement those when America is chairing the presidency. Did you hear what the White House secretary, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, did you hear what she said yesterday about our president?
The United States is not participating in official talks at the G20 in South Africa. I saw the South African president running his mouth a little bit against the United States and the president of the United States earlier today, and that language is not appreciated by the president or his team. The ambassador or the representative of the embassy in South Africa is simply there to recognize that the United States will be the host of the G20. They are receiving that send-off. They are not there to participate in official talks, despite what the South African president is falsely claiming.
Did she just say our president is running his mouth? I'll come back to that in a moment. So, the presidency spokesperson, Vincent Magwenya, tweeted yesterday that the president is not going to be, transferring power to, like, a charged affairs. Like, it's not going to give the gavel to a charged affairs. They are obviously sending compared to what they were planning to do in the beginning, a much junior delegation. That's the view of the South African government, a junior delegation to the G20 summit. And I wonder what that is going to mean then for the weekend. Like, should South Africa say to the US, listen, this is not going to work. If you're going to be sending that delegation, you might as well not come. Or does South Africa then say, okay, come through, we'll make the arrangements for you, but just know that this is not going to work. And maybe the US will have to fetch the gavel at DERCO's headquarters. But at what point do we stop taking the disrespect? I mean, for a press secretary to refer to our president as running his mouth? I mean, I'm sure many South Africans heard this and probably said, hold my cup or hold my beer. Because what did she just say? At what point do we stop the disrespect? And I'm happy to have seen the South Africans in their numbers defending this country and defending the president. And just yesterday, we were actually talking about just the negativity that sometimes engulfs us. And I was asking you, what are the things that sometimes when during the moment of negativity and confusion, you look at and you think, I'm grateful to be coming from this country. And for me, it's in moments like this when we can pick up when there's BS, we call it out. And we say, not in South Africa's name. And when the president puts his foot down in defense of this country and its sovereignty, we rally behind him. And I'm glad to see some South Africans doing that. Right? Black and white, who stand together against any form of bullying and say, that's not going to happen. Or you are not going to call our president that. Have some respect. So, do we become petty towards America? Because I do think if you play a petty game with America, you're probably not going to win that. Are we not punching above our weight? Or do you become the bigger person in the room where just allow them to come, do the transfer of power, give them the gavel, let them go and take over the G20 presidency next year? Some people were suggesting that when this delegation comes, they must go and sit in the overflow area. I mean, is that how far we should go? Because that's now taking it much, much, much further. That's like pettiness at its worst. What do you think should be our approach? And are you one of those people who feel the need to defend this country in the face of disrespect like that, where a press secretary calls our president, tells the world that the South African president was busy running his mouth? With all his faults, that's not something I can respect and defend. This is our president who also deserves the same respect that America gives its own president. Give us a call on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Between 10 and 11 o'clock, we're going to do the Across the Desk feature. Today I'm hosting Teenage Mothers. Are you one of those people who had a child as a teenager for whatever reason? I'd like you to share your story with us, because teenage pregnancy to this day continues to be one of the most complex and deeply felt social issues in South Africa. Behind the statistics that we often speak about are real young people navigating adulthood long before they expected to. So I want us to speak to these young people who became mothers at a very young age. But I want to speak to you as well. If you have become a mother or you are a mother to a child who became a mother at a very young age. How did you navigate that? At 11 o'clock, we're going to do our relationship feature. Today, we're talking about something that's affected many of us in one way or the other. Cheating. Why do people cheat? Have you cheated in your relationship? And what led you to cheat? I want us to look at just the nuance, because it's safe to say that almost everyone in a relationship, whether dating or married, has no desire to be cheated on, right? Or to instigate an unfaithful act. Yet, infidelity does happen, quite frequently too. And there's this misconception that a lack of attraction is what compels someone to commit infidelity. But research actually suggests it's more nuanced than that. And those are the nuances I want us to look at on the relationship feature today. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Morning, Clement. It's Norma. I'm just grateful to be alive, just to be counted amongst the living. It's a true blessing for me. That's what I'm grateful for. Thank you.
Hi, Clement. This is Heather from Constantia Kloof. I'm really grateful this week, with just in terms of the whole shutdown that's happening against GBV. I'm seriously grateful because on the 20th of November yesterday, my sister went to court because of her abusive husband who beat up her son, my nephew, and herself. I'm just grateful that she's alive, because she could have been one of the stats of, Me Too. We could be singing Violet and Jaden, being killed in the hands of an evil man. And I just hope, I'm really praying that the justice system really works, because the problem is within the courts. He's able to go and manipulate the situation, take and steal documents and files, and the courts allow him to do that. These perpetrators are also paying their way within the courts. So I think that's one of the things that we need to speak about.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Kustas, you calling from Midrand. What do you want to say about America? Good morning.
Yo, Clement, that the statement by that lady left a sour taste in my mouth, because this is what happens when you make spokesperson people that have got no maturity, because she personalizes politics. Politics is not something to personalize. You can disagree without going low and stuff like that. But for our government on Sunday, all they need to do is to make sure that the declaration passes. For me, the handover of the baton on Clement, they must so much just take it to Derko and keep it there. In his speech, he does not mention a handover. He appreciates the countries that are here. The smaller countries that might be fought behind closed doors, look, let's forgive those because they need the United States. But all in all, the South African government on Sunday must just say how smooth the year went without the U.S., how nicely it was. And our president must just say, you know what, we've made so much strides.
Yeah.
We appreciate every nation that came through. For those who did not come, have a nice day. You could not succeed to make us to fail.
Here's the challenge, Kustas.
Yes.
The president wants a joint declaration, which is normally what happens at the end of any G20 summit. Trump doesn't want that. And I fear that the US president is going to try put pressure on certain world leaders who just don't have a backbone or who are so beholden to America that they don't want to upset Trump. So if Trump calls a leader of a certain country and says, listen to me, you are going to oppose a joint statement. And those leaders may probably want to do that because they don't want to be seen to be taking a side against Donald Trump. And that is my biggest fear now. And also my second worry is, sure, there's going to be declarations at the summit, but the U.S. takes over the presidency next year. So doesn't that complicate the implementation of some of the resolutions? Because this now sits with the U.S. next year. Are we even going to be participants next year? Who knows? The U.S. are probably going to push for the EU and the AU to be removed and say, let's have a more linear, structured G20.
Yeah, I think the Clement, let's just make the South Africans aware. The Americans have been participating throughout the year in this matter, by the way. That's what the Minister of Health said. He said that they have been participating all along. It's not that they were not there. So they know what needs to be happening next year. So from a South African government, that's why I'm saying by now, they should be pushing to make sure that declaration on Sunday passes, because that's very critical. If it doesn't pass as an Clement, it would not be nice, Anyana, you know what I mean? But because the Americans would have tried to scupper this thing. So that's what they're doing between now and Sunday. They must push for that. But all in all, whether we're invited next year, Clement, is neither here nor there. We've done our job. Everybody came into the country, and the year went smooth, and a lot of these G20 went smooth. So let's pat ourselves in the bed and then take it from there. What comes next, we'll see.
Sure, Kustas in Midrand. Maureen in Captain Park. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Maureen, go ahead.
I was saying that Mr. Trump should get on and rule his own country and leave us alone. We can do it on our own. If we look for all the good in each other, then we can do it. This week I was invited to the Tembisa Hospital in honor of the preemie babies. They've got 91 premature babies. And with love and mother's milk, they can survive and become youngsters. And the amount of love I saw there, we laughed, we danced, we sang, we ate, we did everything. You know what? If the rest of the world can see this, they will realize that South Africans are strong. Yeah. We're not going to all run away from this country. We love our country. We love each other. If we just put a bit of effort into it.
Absolutely. Maureen, couldn't have said it better. Thank you for your call in Kempton Park. 24 after 9.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
The sitting president of the incoming presidency will not be attending the G20 summit as the United States has chosen.
I do get a concern about United States because I didn't believe that one day the country will be like North Korea, where the ideology of the president is more important than the guiding principles of the United States. I'm saying like currently like countries are now starting to say that yes, we can live without the United States. We can group together without the United States.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
After more than 50 sold-out shows, Universe on Stage Duo is back with their new show, The Black Hole Symphony, performed live with the Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra and conducted by Daniel Boyko. This breathtaking, one-of-a-kind exploration of music, science, and cinematic visuals is a symphonic journey through one of nature's greatest enigmas, the black hole. It takes place for 3 performances only from the 27th to the 29th of November at the Wits Linda Auditorium. Tickets available on web tickets.
And the award for the spiciest stunt performed in a bowl goes to Tom Yum Cruise.
Thank you everyone. Wow, what an honor. I'd like to thank the chilies, the lemongrass, and of course, Simply Asia, for believing in my flavor.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia, connecting the Thaiway.
The crazy store's got deals galore and everything you need. From tinsel presents, wrapping, and a star for your Christmas tree. We've got all sorts of games and sports, many toys to buy. Stationery, arts and crafts, come on and don't be shy. No need to panic shop, we're your one-stop Christmas spot. Your table will be dressed and you will not be stressed. When Christmas Eve is here, you'll want to sing and cheer. I got everything at the crazy store and I can't wait for next year.
Hey, you never know what you might find this Christmas.
The Dial-A-Bed Black Friday sale is now on with 20% off absolutely everything. Start Black Friday shopping today and save thousands on all our best brands. 40 Winks, Sealy, Simmons, Dunlopillow, King Coil in all sizes, all less 20% and all ready for fast delivery. Dial-A-Bed. Sleep for life.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
27 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's continue with your calls on 011-883-0702. WhatsApps on 072 0702-1702. John, you are in Winchester Hills. What are your thoughts? Hi.
Morning, Clement. Listen, we've got a white supremacist, a racist in the Oval Office currently. The nicest thing is not a king. He's not going to be there for life. He's got only 2 years left in his administration. Let's take the pain. Let's take the racist treatment, the disrespect for now. But the new administration is coming. This guy is under pressure from his own domestic policies. The Epstein files, the cost of living in the US. He's trying to divert attention using South Africa by lying about what is happening in this country. We've got an opportunity to use this G20 for diplomatic ties, for economic improvement, for improving the life of the mostly disadvantaged, black South Africans. The so-called genocide, we know, the world knows there's no such. Africans are doing far, far much better compared to before 1994. Let this racist have his own America, which is also struggling, to get hold of, because people are tired of his racism. He's a racist and he doesn't respect any African country. And he's trying by all means to act as if South America is still a superpower. America is not a superpower anymore. We are living in a global community. The G20 is to save that. That is why it's called the G20, Global 20. And this global South is developing its economy with the likes of the EU, the BRICS. Let's partner with those who want to partner with us. And then on Sunday, when you hand over the baton to them, give it to them, not because you're afraid of them, to say to them, you've been exposed, you will never win against the ones who want peace and prosperity.
All right, John in Winchester Hills, thank you for your thoughts.
Good morning, Clement and the team there. The consensus will be reached. United States think G20 is the UN, where they veto every move. Unfortunately, it is not. We carry on, and as for the spokesperson for the White House, she's very rude and cultured. We will never be bullied by anyone in this country. Willie in Pretoria.
Morning, Clemson. Your question, what should our attitude be towards America? Clement, our government is not perfect. We are complaining every day about SA government, but here I beg them 100%. We cannot every time we are begging America. It's like we are not our own country. So everything now Ramaphosa must beg. So they are right. If the USA want to come, it's fine. If they don't come, it's also fine. Life must go on.
Good morning, Clement. Clement, Aragebe ka Sesotho. Ngwananyana wa tella, hana tlhompho, hana mekgwa, o hlolehile o photoleile. Imagine saying a head of state is running his mouth and you don't appreciate that kind of talk. Do you appreciate what is coming out of your own mouth when you're saying a head of state is running his mouth? Imagine the disrespect, how low you have to stoop just to say that. This is why nobody respects that country and nobody takes their president serious. Yes, they have power, but it's just a circus there.
Yeah, they mustn't disrespect our president like that. With all his faults, he remains the head of state for this country, was constitutionally elected. And I think we bear responsibility at some level to defend that, because that's part of defending our sovereignty. I was shocked. Actually, I'm not shocked to see. Ernest Roots, where is he from? Is he AfriForum or what? Ernest Roots. He tweeted, right, responding to this White House press secretary saying the president is running his mouth. Ernest Roots says, are we not allowed to criticize the president of a sovereign state? Oh, he left AfriForum apparently. He used to be at AfriForum. Oh, this is the guy who went to America and continued with the lies about what's happening in South Africa. Oh, they're so exhausting. He's now trying to say, why do we have a problem with what the press secretary has said? Because, are we not allowed to criticize? That is not criticism. That is not criticism. That is pure disrespect. And for him not to get that is actually not surprising. It's 9:32. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. More of your calls and WhatsApps afterwards. Sviso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. The Trauma Centre for Survivors of Violence and Torture Trust in Cape Town is among scores of organizations that are expected to join a nationwide protest that will honor victims of gender-based violence. NGO Women for Change has called on all women and the LGBTQ+ community to refrain from working today and join the nationwide campaign. The DA in Gauteng is urging authorities to fast-track the sale of assets seized from alleged Tembisa Hospital. Tender Froster Hangwani Maumela. The party held a picket outside Premier Panyaza Lesufi's office in Johannesburg yesterday, calling for the recovery of 2 billion rand looted from the facility. And UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Vietnam Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh have arrived in South Africa for the G20 Leaders Summit. The leaders from the world's largest economies have touched down in Johannesburg despite the absence of the US, which will take over the G20 Presidency from South Africa. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this hour, if you are leaving the Kempton Park, Ekurhuleni area, expect huge delays. The R21 southbound is closed off to traffic. That's between Atlas Road and Voortrekker Road opposite OR Tambo International Airport due to the G20 delegate convoys making their way through them, heading towards Joburg. Sandton, expect more than a 30-minute delay. So that's if you are coming from Pretoria, Tembisa, heading into Joburg. Expect about a 30-minute delay on the this is on the R21 southbound all the way from the Benoni off-ramp, so allow for extra traveling time. Also road highways also restricted to traffic at this hour, leaving Ekurhuleni. That includes the R24 westbound between the R21 and Barbara Road heading towards Bedfordview. The N12 east westbound is closed off to traffic. That's approaching the R24. And if you're heading towards Midrand, leaving Germiston, the N3 northbound is closed off to traffic between Modderfontein Road and Marlborough Drive. So traffic is a bit sluggish leaving Germiston, heading towards Pretoria at this stage. Other issues surrounding Joburg. Look out for those roadworks on the N3 southbound. That's in the Calvin Alex area. Slowing down traffic on in both directions between the Butler Interchange and London Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702 Afternoons.
With Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
What does happen if you realize that you disturbed something that you should not have disturbed by taking a piece or stealing, and now you want to make right?
One, you have to recognize the violation that you did. You have appropriated the object because you just took it for the aesthetic value. You have to go back and apologize to the communities. Objects are not about the aesthetic value, and that's what the West always fails to realize, that it might look like art aesthetically, but a lot of African objects were not just created for the aesthetics. They were created with a spiritual meaning and to anchor community.
Curator and conservator of African cultural heritage, Mabafokeng Poyane.
702 Afternoons.
With Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Imagine a place where festive lights sparkle, kids laugh, and every treat and treasure you buy changes a life. That's the Parkview Christmas Market. Join us from 21 to 23 November at George Hay Park for 100 unique food and craft stalls, a sparkling oyster bar, live entertainment, and a kids' activity wonderland. Every purchase supports local charities, bringing joy to those in need. Bring your family, friends, and festive spirit. Parkview Christmas Market, where joy meets giving.
Josie, my Josie, a city made of swag, passion, and resilience. Over here, we rise with the sun, Namateksi. We are a city of doers, creators, and believers. When we unite, yonke into iyahlangana. From corner offices to corner veggie stalls, or corner preacher and receipt. Josie, my Josie, a city where even those who were not born here are made here. Yabonala, citizenship is awarded to the curious. There's magic and beauty in our city, so we call on everyone to come experience it. Babiza bonke to come see Josie and all its people, because this city is all of us. Come witness our citizens do it. Babiza bonke to come see the actions of the invisibles. those building our city from the ground up. So we have a home we can all proudly call Josie My Josie. Visit josiemyjosie.com to see how Josie does it.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
23 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Good morning, Clement. Irrespective who and what our president is, that is my president. No other leader or person must disrespect our president like that. The same respect that they give to other world leaders, they have to give the same respect to our leader, Cyril Ramaphosa. I am not happy that they are bad-mouthing him on a global stage for everyone to hear. He should get the same respect that all the other world leaders get. That is our president. Thank you.
This is Rob from Santon. With all due respect, respect is earned, reputation is earned. We've been hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that is why America does not respect us. We hang out with Iran, with Hamas, a proscribed terrorist organization. We hang out with Russia, who has a despotic, murderous leader who has no qualms about butchering innocent civilians. These are the people that we hang out with. So America is not going to respect us. That is the reality. And America, with all due respect to the previous caller, is not a circus. We are the circus. We are the banana republic, not America. Thank you.
What a joke, my darling. No, really, it is a joke because you want to talk about respect being earned? What respect are we talking about here? You are saying that we're hanging out with Russia. Do you know that Donald Trump hung out with Russia in Alaska? You're saying we're hanging out with people that are butchering people. Do you know that the US president just 2-3 days ago was with the Saudi prince and defending the Saudi prince from questions that are being asked about the Saudi journalist who was killed and chopped into pieces? The the American agency, CIA, produced a report that indicated that the Saudi prince may have had something to do with that. Of course, he's denied that. But the point is, Donald Trump didn't even want to take a question about that. And he said, that person who died was very controversial. This is someone who died in very tragic circumstances. Nobody deserves to die like that, no matter how much you disagree with them. And yet the US president says, that person you're asking us about was very controversial. And the Saudi prince had nothing to do with that. And was calling a journalist who was asking questions about the tragic death of that journalist, called him fake news. But you want to talk to us about respect and how our leaders have been hanging out with problematic characters? And that's the thing about double standards as well. You can never provide any proof that President Cyril Ramaphosa has somehow sat down even with Hamas. President Cyril Ramaphosa was one of the people that condemned what happened even on October 7. But you will choose to ignore that because it doesn't play to your narrative, right? Because anybody else who speaks about the war in the Middle East and how tragic it is, anybody who pushes for a two-state solution is seen as what? Problematic, except, of course, the US, because they are also pushing for it, even though Israel trying to defend it. There are double standards here. And I bet you if Donald Trump sat down with Hamas tomorrow, and his team has done that because they've had to negotiate a peace deal. If he did it tomorrow himself, you wouldn't hear WhatsApp voice notes like that where someone says, you are hanging out with, what did he call it? You hang up with murderers. When Donald Trump sits down with the Russian president and cozies up with him and hosts him, rolls up the red carpet for him, you don't send a voice note like that. But if South Africa continues with bilateral relations with a country like that, you've got a problem with it. So maybe you need to check your double standards. Koketso, you're in Johannesburg. Good morning.
Morning, Clement. I think I'm absolutely livid at that voice note from that Rob guy from Sanford. I honestly think we need to start calling out people that are not patriotic to the country. You know, we can have our issues in this country and our issues with the policies and the political leadership. But to say that South Africa is a circus, South Africa is a banana republic, what is this? When he says America, the type of people we're hanging out with are not okay. That's why America is judging us because we don't choose wisely. Is America itself choosing wisely? America itself was now embroiled in a genocide. They've been funding a genocide in Gaza, So if people have to start judging other people based on their foreign policy, where are we going to get? Countries need to respect each other's sovereign right to choose who they want to associate and affiliate with, and not want to bully people, your countries into giving up their sovereignty. So I'm actually quite disgusted at the tone that we're getting from some South Africans that almost feel like they want this G20 to fail because it's like, then we will have deserved it, And it's like, that for me is just not patriotic at all. It's not nationalistic. And I have an issue with it. Because it's like you call yourself a South African, but yet you're not patriotic. So what gives you the right to call yourself a South African?
And why are you still here? Like why are you still here?
Exactly, Clement. Exactly. If this country is so disgusting for you and a banana republic and
then get on a flight and go be a refugee in the US.
Why do you still want to stay in this country? Yeah, exactly. So we need to call out these type of people, Clement, because you know what, people go out, especially when you travel a lot, you see it overseas. People, particularly, and I'll mention it, white South Africans talk down our country a lot overseas. They say all the negative things. And you know what, Clement, every country has negative things, right? There's no perfect country. We ourselves also have negative things. But people to talk down our country and continually run it down, I take issue with that.
Yeah, same here, Koketso. And just to be clear, it's not all white South Africans who talk bad about this country. So there are white South Africans who love this country, who care about it, who are advocates of this country, who are patriotic. There are many of them out there in this country, out of this country. So I think it's important to distinguish. Of course, there are others who just don't care. Guys, if there's one person who has shown maturity, if there's one person who has been calm throughout this entire debacle with the US, is our president. How was he treated in the White House? That was wild how he was treated. And yet he still chose to remain calm. He chose to maintain his calm. Even in this debacle, even now with this thing with the US where they're coming but they're not, and okay, they're sending this delegation but they're just coming for the handover, the president still maintains calm. We're still negotiating. We still think the US must play its part. If he was petty, he would have said, don't come. He would have said, they told us at the last minute that we must make arrangements for them. We're not going to do that. But you will not see that because already you don't see this country. You don't see him as a leader. Which makes me wonder, why are you here? Like, what's your relation to this country? Because I would believe people are here because they really want to fight for this country. They want to make it work. And that's not to say our president is perfect or this country is perfect. You know how many times we talk about things that are not working in this country. You know how many times we criticize our president. But come on, be a little objective sometimes. It's 13 minutes before 10.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi, my name is Mbalenhle Felicity Ngubane, and I'm from Johannesburg. I'm staying in Malaysia currently. 702 helped me through my depression, my divorce, COVID. So I'm very, very happy that 702 helped me through all of those years. And I'm still going to continue listening to you guys from the morning to the evening. And yeah, thank you, 702.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
South Africa is taking its place on the world stage at the B20 and G20 Summits 2025. Telkom is proud to stand with the nation, building a digital future that reaches every community through reliable fiber, mobile and cloud networks. Telkom is connecting families, small businesses and young people to new opportunities. They're helping drive digital public infrastructure so services are easier to access for all. Telkom, the digital backbone of South Africa's future.
Progress builds, it moves, and it has a partner. That partner is Anglo-American. Together, we're building progress where it matters most across South Africa. With a 1 billion rand investment into education in our host communities, $15 million pledged to the Global Fund to support community-based health services, 1.6 billion rand in deals facilitated through our Impact Finance Network. And as a sponsor of B20 and G20, we're bringing that same spirit of partnership to a global stage, proving that when collaboration is real, progress moves faster. South Africa has a partner. Join the conversation on social media. Anglo-American, mining potential, building beyond.
There's something magical about booking your next getaway. Whether you're flying for business or leisure, Airlink is ready to take you there in premium comfort. With over 45 destinations in 15 African countries, Airlink connects you throughout Southern Africa and beyond. No middle seats, just wider window or aisle seating. And yes, free luggage, snacks and beverages are still our thing. Plus, our Skybucks frequent flyer program rewards you every time you fly. Book on flyairlink.com or your travel agent. Fly Airlink, the freedom of the African sky.
The G20 Summit coming to Johannesburg is a stepping stone towards a brighter future for the city. Josie My Josie has launched the Babize Bonke campaign to shine a spotlight on some of the extraordinary champions who are reshaping Johannesburg from the ground up.
Hi, I'm James Delaney, an artist and activist based in Victoria Yards. For the last 12 years, I've led the campaign to restore the wilds, from an abandoned space to one of Josie's best-loved parks, with 40 acres of indigenous plants, waterfalls and over 100 mosaics and sculptures.
Josie My Josie is making the invisible visible, giving the voiceless a voice. It's a movement for the people, by the people, creating a city that we can proudly call Josie My Josie. Come see how Josie does it. A city that's alive, ready and rising. Prime Media and 702 are proud sponsors of Josie My Josie.
Josie My Josie, Babize Bonke champion James Delaney will be interviewed on Weekend Breakfast by Gugs Mhlungu at 8 a.m. on Sunday.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
10 minutes before 10 o'clock. Nabil, you calling us from Pretoria. Good morning.
Hey, Clement, I trust you well.
Sure, go ahead.
Clement, maybe just two comments. The first one is around our president, my president. I am extremely proud of the way that he's been handling this whole debacle with the Americans and with integrity and with respect, and you'll always be remembered for that as an ethical leader, the way he dealt with that. Sure, not all of us might agree on the way he's done things. Some of the things we might even say he was too slow, etc. But if one considers everything and local politics, if President Ramaphosa went in with a big broom and tried to sweep clean off the bat, with all the factions in the ANC, he would not have lasted one term as the ANC president. Guaranteed. But I'm proud that he laid a foundation and hopefully others come will follow on to it. Then Donald Trump and the previous caller that said South Africa and we sit with unethical characters and murderers and the rest. Did he ever look at the American president? Does he read? The problem with America, and I get a sense Donald Trump is all about white superiority, white lives matter, colonialism. Because the fight even with Israel is whites against non-whites. How we don't want to give people of color. So Donald Trump is probably the most unethical leader in American history. And we should never ever be associated with him. But I do believe our president will do the right thing, carry our South African flag high, and deal with America with the required respect, and not on petty basis, because there we never win anything.
Yeah. It's never been tit for tat with our president. And sometimes, yes, it's frustrating because you want him to put the foot down and, rise up and be firm. But as I said, if there's one person who has demonstrated maturity in this entire issue, it's been our president. It really has been our president. Kwabena, you're calling from Little Falls. Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. I have just two little suggestions. If America is sending their charge d'affaires to receive the gavel, then maybe our president should give the gavel to maybe the DG of DECO to hand it over to that charge d'affaires. Number two, that White House press secretary, Karen Levitt, maybe she be declared a persona non grata in South Africa until such time that she can apologize to our president and the people of South Africa for that level of disrespect. Those are my two little suggestions.
Kwabena, thank you so much for your suggestions. I don't see that happening. That's why I said, unless we're willing to play tit for tat, with the US. But if you're going to be petty, play a petty game with them, I don't think we're going to win that game. They've got more leverage. They're more powerful. They need us, but we need them more. AGOA is hanging in the balance. There's a lot we don't want to compromise in the relationship between the two countries, and that's always been the position of our president. But they feel like they almost have got nothing to lose. So I bet you, our ambassador is gone, chased out of the country. I bet you if this was our press secretary, if this was Vincent Magwenya who said that about Donald Trump, the US president, and said the US president was running his mouth, his visa would probably be revoked by this morning. But that's not how we've responded as South Africa. And yet you still have other people who think this country is behaving worse in this scenario. Moeletsi, you're in Davidton. Hi.
So, Clement, how are you?
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Good. About respect, Clement. Respect. You see, as a person, I respect Ramaphosa and I sympathize with him. That statement that was said by that woman, it's really unfortunate, and I take a very strong exception to that. However, Rona, South Africans, we've opened our president to disrespect by other people. We've been calling him Umfana, right on national TV, calling him a thief. Now, what do we expect, Clement? What do we expect, really? I wanted to say that shortly.
All right. Moeletsi in Davidton, thank you. More of your WhatsApps.
702. What is going on here is Donald Trump again is exposing himself and his administration to be hypocrite. And what I'm happy about is that the world is now here to come and witness that there is no white genocide in South Africa. The world is here. The world is here to witness that. That's just a testimony that we should all be happy for, that is going to apply after the G20. Because now after the G20, he will be having nothing to say against the South Africans. So it will be clear that he's got a proper hate for South Africa for no apparent reason. You understand? As for our president, I'm very proud of him. He must just stand his ground. We will see what the consensus is during the weekend. And I think we should just pray that the best comes out of it. Also from Naledi.
Hey, Madimecha, it's T here. We should not be bullied by the states. And that lady, that press secretary, Catherine Leavitt, as far as I'm concerned, she's persona non grata in South Africa.
Morning, Clement. I'm not the ANC supporter. I'm not the Cyril Ramaphosa supporter, but he's still President Ramaphosa, and he's still our representative, and he's still there for the country. And at the end of the day, is how you treat him and how America treats him is how they want to treat the rest of South Africa and feel the rest of Africa at the end of the day. And how they're doing it at the moment is I have no time for it. I have no time for it. It's this school ground tactics of a school bully with a rich dad trying to poke at someone, and that's how it feels. We're just gonna make them mad the whole time, and I don't think it is right, and I don't think that's how you do it. And I'm glad if President Ramaphosa puts his foot down and says, "Listen, this is not what's happening," and don't take this trash talk from the US. I'm 100% on his side.
Absolutely. It's silly what's happening. And if you really respect this country, you respect the sovereignty of this country, you respect the president, whether you disagree with him or not, you recognize that he's a constitutionally elected president, then you stand behind him in the face of the silliness we're seeing. It's 2 minutes before 10.
Step into a world of unforgettable experiences in Dubai. From luxury beaches to underwater adventures. From authentic traditions to futuristic museums. Make it a Dubai adventure to remember with Emirates. Fly to Dubai from one of 3 gateways in South Africa. Start your holiday the moment you board with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks, and up to 6,500 channels of entertainment. Fly Emirates, fly better.
Click season is different from any other ho. Oh? Yes, here's why. Mix and match any 3 festive gifts with a purple sticker.
Oh.
And get the lowest one free.
Oh.
With the famous Clicks Purple Sticker promotion. It's Oh. Only at Clicks. Feel good, pay less. Deals valid until 24 December or while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
For 3 consecutive years, Nedbank has been recognized as the best investment bank in South Africa at the Global Banking and Finance Review Awards. Whether helping clients navigate cross-border risks or building financing frameworks that support market reform, Nedbank is a partner in more than just capital. We're part of the architecture supporting Africa's renewable energy future. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. More organizations have joined demonstrations to honor victims of gender-based violence and femicide in the country. Non-profits group Women for Change is hosting a national shutdown. There's a summit, which is a social movement that's amplifying the voices of people, is also honoring all the victims. And people have gathered at the Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg, where the summit is taking place in solidarity with victims of abuse. One of the participants, Kiaretswe Mupule, says that they aim to raise these issues so that other parts of the world can be aware of what is happening in the country.
So we want to take this opportunity to not make it just a national shutdown, but let it be a global shutdown. Have our global organizations amplify the issue.
In Cape Town, the Trauma Center for Survivors of Violence and Torture is among scores of organizations expected to join the nationwide protest to honor the victims of gender-based violence. Carlo Peterson has more.
Senior Director at the Trauma Center, Margarita Holthausen, supports the call to raise awareness about gender-based violence. Crime statistics show 15 women are murdered in the country every day, with 115 rape cases reported daily. Holthausen says 1 out of 13 rape cases are reported.
If you are a woman in South Africa, you have to adjust your life to look over your shoulder whenever you leave the house, to walk in fear, as you do whatever is in your power not to become the next statistic.
The Trauma Center is also calling on government to strengthen the justice system to ensure successful prosecutions of these cases. Holthausen says only 10% of rape cases that are reported to authorities result in a conviction. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Some economists believe there is room for continued easing of monetary policy after the Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee cut the repo rate by 25 basis points. The committee decided unanimously to lower the benchmark rate to 6.75% in the final meeting of the year yesterday, and this brings the prime lending rate for commercial banks to 10.25%. Nolkayam Dambo reports.
The 25 basis point cut to the repo rate comes amid improved economic sentiment, supported by an overshoot in revenue, an S&P credit rating upgrade, and South Africa's exit from the grey list. A further easing in borrowing costs is expected to push confidence and willingness to spend in the right direction. Economist and product head at FNB, Esther Ush.
However, we do recommend that if the budget allows, keep paying the previous higher installment, as this will assist with saving interest over the longer term. If, however, the consumer is relying on interest income from savings, this will potentially reduce as well, and there they will need to see where they can adapt their budget to see how they can make up any potential shortfall. That said, economists at FNB say the MPC remains focused on future inflation, with a less likelihood of aggressive cuts in the near term. Nogukhanya Mdambo, Eyewitness News.
And UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Vietnam Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh have arrived in South Africa for the G20 Leaders Summit. They are part of leaders from the world's largest economies that have touched down in Johannesburg, despite the absence of the US, which will take over the G20 presidency from South Africa. And some of the delegates and leaders who arrived yesterday include Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese.
It's the most important gathering for which Australia is a member. It represents 85% of the global economy, 75% of global trade. 1 in 4 of Australia's jobs depends upon trade.
Gold is trading at $4,074.74 an ounce. The rand is at 17.23 to the dollar, 22.53 to the pound, 19.86 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.54 a barrel.
Well, at this stage in the Kempton Park area, there's those delays through OR Tambo International Airport. That's on the R24 westbound between Barbara Road and the OR Tambo International Airport. There's road restrictions leaving Kempton Park heading towards the Sandton area. That's at Joburg. Also other restrictions due to the G20 delegate convoy. There's the N3 northbound between Modderfontein Road and the Batlu interchange. That highway at this stage is restricted, so allow for extra traveling time if you are leaving Ekurhuleni heading towards Joburg.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with afternoon thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. More organizations have joined demonstrations to honor victims of gender-based violence and femicide in the country.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
7 minutes after 10 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. And thank you for your calls, your WhatsApps, and your tweets on the 702 open line this morning. Remember, we're going to have a conversation at 11 o'clock on our relationship feature. We're going to look at just the nuances, right, around cheating. There's a misconception that a lack of attraction is what often compels someone to commit infidelity, but research actually suggests it's much more nuanced than that, and I'm sure you know that better because many of us have been affected by this in one way or the other. So we've got a guest who's going to take us through those nuances, but I would like you to also share your experiences with us at 11 o'clock when we start this conversation. But right now, we start our Across the Desk feature.
Across the Desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
So on our Across the Desk feature this morning, I'm hosting teenage mothers. Were you ever a teenage mother before? Are you a teenage mother now? And I would like to know how you've been navigating that. I'd like you to share your story with us, because I think often we focus on the statistics, we focus on the numbers, but we don't look at the story behind what's transpired that has led to us having teenage mothers. And I really think these are conversations we need to have, because teenage pregnancy continues to be one of the most complex issues in our society. And behind these statistics, we often talk about are real young people navigating adulthood long before they're expected to. Teenage pregnancy remains high in South Africa. There are many girls aged 10 to 19 falling pregnant each year due to a mix of factors, whether it's limited access to comprehensive sex education, limited access to contraceptives, or maybe contraceptive challenges, poverty, peer pressure, and in some cases, sexual exploitation. And although pregnant learners are legally allowed to stay in school, many still face the stigma. They face the emotional stress, the practical barriers that lead to long absences, or just cases where they end up dropping out. And there are issues around healthcare services as well. There are issues around young people who often report judgment or insensitive treatment at clinics when they go get their medication or they go get their contraceptives. And that ultimately prevents them from seeking early and consistent care. And that's part of the problem that is experienced. So I want us to have a holistic conversation about teenage pregnancy. But I want you to also share some of your experiences with us, because I know there are some mothers who became pregnant at a young age, and navigating that was quite challenging. For some of you, perhaps navigating that was not challenging because you had the support system. Let us know on 011-883-0702 how you navigated that. You can send us a WhatsApp as well on 072-702-1702. In studio with me, we have invited some teenage mothers. So I've got Bianca Koza, who's a teen mom, who's here in studio with us. Bianca, thank you for coming through. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Thank you for making time. And then we also have Libuwani Chufango in studio with us as well. Libuwani, thank you for also coming through. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. I want to start off here. You guys are still in school, right?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
Grade 10, I'm repeating.
You're repeating grade 10. Yes. And Libuwani, you're in grade
11.
Grade 11 now.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start with what happened. Do you remember when you fell pregnant, how you found out?
Yes.
Were you shocked? How old were you?
16 years.
16.
Yes.
How did you find out? Did you take a pregnancy test? Did you see? Did you feel something happening in your body?
No, my body started to change.
Oh, you were seeing
that. I developed pimples
on your face.
Yes. Then I started to sick. That's when I went to a clinic.
Sure.
Then I found out.
And how long was the pregnancy then? Was it 2 months? Was it
4 months.
4 months by then?
Yes.
Were you shocked?
Yes, too much. I was
Shocked
shocked.
kanjani though? Wenza izinto ezenza abantwana.
I was
you were just, you didn't believe it. You were not taking contraceptives, ne? Were
Yes.
you? You were not?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Were you scared when you found out?
I was too much scared because I didn't know what I'm going to say to my mom.
To your mom?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. I want to know how you told your mother. But before that, and for you, Libuwane, how did you find out? Were you shocked as well when you found out?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mixed my period.
Yeah?
And then I thought maybe is the things that happens. Yeah. After then, I have to go. Like my body started changing. I was always sleeping. Ask myself what is happening here.
Were you vomiting? Were
No,
you
I
feeling
was not
sick?
vomiting.
Just sleeping?
Yeah, just sleeping. Then I go to the clinic.
Yeah.
Then I found out that I'm pregnant.
Did it shock you?
Oh, obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. You were also
Because
16, ne?
Yeah, I was 16. I was scared because I was staying with my grandmother and my grandfather.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure. And grandmother and grandfathers are very strict, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you tell your mom, Bianca? Were you staying with your mom and dad or just your mom?
I was staying with my mom and dad.
Who did you tell first?
I didn't tell anyone.
So what happened?
I told my boyfriend. Then my boyfriend went to tell them.
How old was your boyfriend? 16 as well?
No, 18.
18. Yes. Went to your house and said, I've impregnated Bianca.
Yes.
And they didn't chase him out.
They did chase him out. They even beat him.
They beat him up?
Yes.
I probably would do that too. Like, okay, and then your parents angry with you?
Too much, because they stayed a long time not talking to me.
Yeah.
They even chased me.
Okay, and for you, when your grandparents found out?
Oh my goodness. He called me and he asked me, like, these days you are changing and you are gaining a weight. What is going on? Are you pregnant?
And you knew at the time?
Yeah, but I was scared to tell
her. Yo. And they can see these things, eh?
Mm.
And then that's when you told her?
Yeah, 8 months pregnant.
Libuwane. Yo, that's like a month from delivery.
Bekunzima yo. Cela umzali ukuthi umithi.
Yeah.
Usasemncane like yo.
Especially grandparents.
Khabo umfana vele nekibo bese kabatshelile vele bandastandile. Balindisisa mina engapha ekhaya kunzima ukuthi ngibatshele.
Yeah. So what do you think was the reason, Bianca, you ended up falling pregnant? Because there are different reasons. Is it peer pressure in school at the age of 16 to have a boyfriend? What was it for you? Like how did you end up falling pregnant and having a boyfriend?
Ukungalaleli.
Akukho kwengakusho.
Yeah, ukungalaleli. Uthi umzali makakutshela into then wena ufuna ukuzibonela.
And did you realize that after you fell pregnant that I should have listened to my parents?
Before futhi ngizoteta nokuteta bese ngibona ukuthi ya and bangikhuzile angilaleli and bangikhuzile mase ngiyazibonela.
So yini like i-boyfriend bekakuchama kakhulu?
Uthanda basesidisha yo.
Okay, so but now you realize that you shouldn't have done that. You should have listened to your parents because having a child at your age comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Has it been difficult being how old is your child now? So you fell pregnant at 16.
2 years 4 months.
2 years 4 months. Is it difficult raising a child at your age?
Yeah, kunzima. Kunzima because akekho umzali vele nabazali suba kwathi ngaso sikhathi mele uzikhulisele wakho umntana. And it's not like maybe suka maybe bakulahla or bagive up akuwe. So bafuna ukubonisa indlela ukuthi na next time wazi ukuthi into eso ayikho right.
So how do you take care of your child? Because you don't work.
Angisebenzi vele. Kona lokho kuncane baba kakutholayo.
Does the father work?
We bamba like a piece job.
And you're still in a relationship with the father?
Yes.
Okay. And he hasn't changed since you had a child?
Akushintshini.
Banjalo
Too much.
abafana ke.
Bayagilana.
Banjalo. And then for you, Libuani, what led you to like being with a boyfriend and ending up engaging in sexual activities at that young age? What was it for you? Peer pressure or?
Hayi ukuphapha nje. Yabona ukuphapha hayi ngithanda izinto shem ngibonile nami. Ufana usuka ngekho moye labor. Yo, hayi kunzima ukukhulisa umntana omncane. Kunzima shem.
It's difficult.
Kunzima.
And is the father of your child still with you?
No.
Where is he?
Uyafunda ku-matric.
Matric.
Yeah.
So you guys are not in a relationship anymore? Why did it end? Did it end immediately after the baby was born or?
Yeah, cha phakathi.
While you were pregnant?
Umntana sekakhona vele. Saya ku-matric. Kasho vele umuntu uyashintsha vele.
So the common story here is that the fathers of the children changed after the babies were born.
Yeah.
Sure, that is so hectic, but I'm glad that you guys have taken some lessons from that. Yes. And I want you to also advise other young people, because actually after this conversation, I'd like to send this conversation to my own nieces and nephews, because masbachela Tina that you need to focus on school at your age. They feel like natisfunu was umnandi until there's a child involved. So I think this conversation is important for so many people out there who've got young men and women in their ladies and boys in their families that they would like to advise. I want to ask though that does this change your relationship with your child? Like, of course you love your child, right? Because you umtonako. But I'm just wondering, like, if you're constantly stressed and the parents are also like they're still sort of angry with you, or have they forgiven you? Because it's like they will forgive you because they will take care of the child, but at the back of their minds, doesn't that affect your relationship with your child?
Gang affect, I mean. Because kwesinye isikhathi ish noma uphathe like kubona ukuthi like unenkinga. Like kubona ngathi maybe umntana uyo kuyenzele ukuthi zonke lezo inkinga zibe khona. Yabo.
And for you, Libuane?
Yeah, affects vele.
With your child?
Affects ngoba vele inkinga eningi uthole maybe nasendlini mabakuthuka. Bathi yenza ukuphaphisa ukuthi ube nengane uyingane like into eningi nabantu estradini phela bakhuluma.
They gossip about you.
Yeah, bayakhuluma vele.
They call you names.
Yeah. Especially mawumithi vele nje kwamele ube nenhliziyo yokubekezela. Ngoba abantu la ngaphandle mawumithi nje umncane nje kwamele nje ubekezela ube nalenhlo ukuthi hayi ngizoba never mind yonke into abayishayo nje ngeke ngiba mind. Ngoba kunabanye nje mabacala babamithi nje abangani bafakela ama peer pressure. Yes, Tommy.
So you guys were advised at some point to abort the child?
Yes.
And did you consider that?
No.
What was the reason for that? Is it because of your religious or because you were scared of your safety, you were scared of the pain? What was the reason?
Mina bengisaba because like abangani bafike vele bakutshela ukuthi kumele ukhiphe isisu phela sami nomuntu umama umuntu.
So they know some mother somewhere there who can help you abort.
Yes.
Okay.
So bangitshela ukuthi why ungayi ukukhipha isisu. Obviously nami ngibuze ngiyokhipha kuphi bangitshela endaweni eso ngakwazi ukuyokhipha khona isisu.
But you were 4 months. How many months you were?
4.
4. You were also advised to abort the child.
Yeah.
And you chose not to.
Hayi mina ngithe hayi ngi-right. If umntana ukhona uzoba khona. But hayi umntana uzohlupheka. Right, uzohlupheka mara uzokhula ngisho.
So the child, even if the child is poor, it's poor with you.
Yeah.
You're still taking care of them.
Kanti ukuthi ngibulala umntana ongazi next. Yeah.
Sure. Was there ever shame? Did you guys feel shame like in the streets when you were walking? Because I remember when we were growing up, when we found out that there were young, like some of our friends who were having sexual intercourse, like we used to gossip about them.
Like
we used to gossip, say, apparently that one having sex. Because for us, sex was like for abantu abadala.
Dala.
So when you are pregnant, then you have to walk in the street with your tummy. Did you feel shame? Did you stay in the house a lot? How was it for you?
Hayi mina bengifayile amahloni kakhulu.
You were too shy.
Cause mina vele la bengihlala khona. Indaba i-strategy ukuthi vele kuyaziwa ukuthi hayi kuyakhulunywa la. Mawuphuma okunye futhi bekungenza ukuthi ngihlale endlini ukuthi mangalo babhizi bakhuluma ngami. Ekubeni lokho mina nami kungangilimaza mara kugcina kulimaza nabazali.
So you end up just staying in the house to avoid the gossip and then were you shy as well, or were you proud?
Yo, mina bengishaye kakhulu. Ayisho bengiphapha. So ngithe mangiba mithi nje abantu mabasibonisisa ukuthi siyavela bathi hey mithi lo
Ufletile.
hey nasesikoleni kunzima nokusukuma bengihlala eback seat.
So your tummy was too big?
Hayi besingekho school masivele ngibabo ma 6 to 7 months lapha. Abantu bese babona ukuthi hayi umithi lo.
Did you not want to quit school at some point?
No, mina isikolo vele bengiyengiyisiyeke.
You wanted to continue?
Yeah. Ngoba kuyafana mangayeka isikolo lo mntana engimthwele ngizomondla ngani?
How are you going to take care of her if you're not finishing school?
Ngivele ngathi hayi ngizohamba naso lesisi sami esikolweni. Ngitete mangicitha ukutata ngizobuyela esikolweni ngizopusha.
Were the teachers not unfair? Like were they not talking about you guys and
bebangakhuluma mara yabona nangezenza ukuthi
they are talking in the background? Yo, okay, 23 minutes after 10 o'clock. I'm hosting Bianca Khoza and Libuwani Chufango, who are teen mothers. And I just thought we should have them come share their experiences with us, because we often talk about statistics, we often talk about the numbers, we talk about how big of a crisis teenage pregnancy is. But do we actually know the stories? Do we know what is the reason why young girls and boys end up having sex at a young age? And I think when we have some of them that have learned their lessons, come and upon reflection realize they shouldn't have engaged in sexual intercourse, I think they can be a good example for other young kids that are listening to this conversation. And maybe this doesn't affect you directly, but you probably have a niece, you probably have a nephew, right, who are engaging in these things and they don't know what the consequences are. Well, here are the consequences. And here are teenagers who are raising children at their age, and they've realized that, you know what, this doesn't work. Don't waste your time with that. I want you to share your experience with us if you were a teen mom or a teen dad, right, at some point in your life, or maybe your child was someone who is in your family. How did you navigate that? Because the shame that's associated with that. I mean, as you've heard, a lot of these young girls end up considering abortion. And you know sometimes that can be done in unsafe environments where their lives are actually in danger. So how have you navigated that? Give us a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
Good morning, Clement. When I'm listening to that stories of these young girls, Clement, it happened to me. My daughter fell pregnant at a very young age, at 15. And you know what, Clement? It was a very difficult journey. But I want to say to them, it's not the end of the world, Clement. As I'm speaking to you, my daughter is writing her third-year examination in environmental science. She'll be completing a degree next year. It is not the end of the world. It happened, Clement, it happened. You will be very angry as a parent, disappointed, but they need support and they must keep it up. They must just pull up their socks. It's not the end of the world, Clement. They will make it. There will be somebody in life. They must just stay positive. It happened. We cannot reverse it. Abram Shanguve, thank you very much.
Thank you, Abram. Do you think you've forgiven yourself for what you've done?
Yeah. Sengizixolelile mina. Because mangaba ngizixoleli kuzogcina kunga-affecta then affect nomntana.
It will affect the child, if you don't forgive yourself. Have you forgiven yourself, Libuwani?
Yes.
Okay. I imagine you guys had dreams. You're still young. When you were 16, you probably... what did you want to do when you grow up, Bianca?
Yo, being namaphupho maningi.
What did you want to study? What did you want to be?
Bengifuna nje ukuba udoctor.
A doctor.
Phupho lami.
Yeah. Do you think that has been interrupted now by umntwana?
No.
You think you can still do it?
Yeah, ngisazoqhubeka ngenze lokho.
Okay. And now you even have more motivation because there's a child, you know.
Yeah.
You want to make yourself proud, but you also want to take care of your child.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have been your dreams?
Ngifuna ukuba yi-lawyer.
A lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. And you still have that dream, you still want to pursue that?
Yeah, ngifuna uliveza vele lelo phupho leli. Soloko nginayo umntana lo.
I'm glad. I'm very happy to hear that. More of your WhatsApp voice notes.
Good morning, Clement. It's William Jolie of Rangers Bay. Good morning to your guest. As a parent, I'm 45 years old. My daughter, she's now 21. She was pregnant at the age of 13 years. When I found out that she was pregnant, I have such an appetite, but I couldn't eat for the whole 7 days, like I was fasting. You know, I have high blood pressure. It was so high in such a way, I even felt like even if I can die, you know, it's so painful. It is so painful. I'm telling you, even right now, I don't wish for someone to feel the pain that I felt when my daughter got pregnant, you know, and our relationship was ruined. After that, it has never come right. Even to date, it has never come right. It still pains me that she was still young. The way that I wish good life and good education for her, 20,000 was aside for her. Everything, she was disturbed. All of her life was disturbed just because of that pregnancy. Thank you, Clement.
Hi, Clement. I also fell pregnant when I was 16, gave birth when I was 17. Went to the same school with my then boyfriend, and he literally left the school when I was pregnant. When he found out that I was pregnant, they took him out of the school. Tried to reach out to his family. They acknowledged the pregnancy, but bathi abazingeni. All I can say to these teenagers is stay in school. Teenage pregnancy follows you throughout your life because in every relationship, even at the workplace, they judge you that noli chacharach and stuff. All I can say, stay strong, stay in school, be strong for your baby. Things will work out. Thanks, Lee Centurion.
Oh, Lee, thank you so much for sharing that experience with us. I've got more of your WhatsApp voice notes coming through. Keep them coming. Your calls as well on 011-883-0702. I'll read some of the tweets that have come through as well as we continue this conversation. With these teen mothers, Bianca and Libuwani, they're sharing their stories about being teen mothers, what encouraged them to do what their parents were warning them against, and once they faced the consequences, how did life change for them? It's exactly 10:30. Time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Fiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. More organizations have joined demonstrations to honor victims of gender-based violence and femicide in the country. Non-profit organization Women for Change is spearheading the national shutdown. People have gathered at the Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg, where a summit is taking place in solidarity with victims of abuse. The DA in Gauteng is urging authorities to fast-track the sale of assets seized from alleged Tembisa Hospital tender fraudster Hangwani Maumela. The party held a picket outside Premier Panyaza Lesufi's office yesterday, calling for the recovery of 2 billion rand looted from the hospital. Last month, the SIU seized nearly 150 million rand worth of assets, including luxury vehicles and high-end artwork. And at least 3 people have been killed in a powerful earthquake that struck Bangladesh today. The 5.5 magnitude quake struck near the city of Nasingdi, about 33 kilometers from the capital Dhaka. The earthquake sparked terror in the country of 170 million people early in the morning. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, some good news. Those road restrictions leaving Kempton Park, Ekurhuleni area have been cleared. So traffic is back to normal on the R21 southbound between Atlas and Fuetreka, as well as the R24 between Barbara and the Kilulis interchange. N3 also clear heading towards Alex.
so nothing to worry about at this stage. However, we still have those roadworks causing some delays. That's in the Brakpan area. That's heading into Benoni on Rangeview Road between Dube and Tom Jones. Also traveling towards the Joburg CBD leaving Germiston. Slow-moving traffic, M2 westbound approaching Cleveland. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in the Fourways area at Cedar and Fourways Boulevard, as well as in Polshof at Witkoppen and Main Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
Here at Betway, we're finding every way possible to make sure you can win your next sports bet. With our new Bet Saver feature, you could get your stake back or more on bets with multiple losses. Stand to win even when your bet misses. Bet Saver, exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
As South Africa assumes the G20 Presidency in 2025, 702 and Standard Bank Group bring you exclusive conversations with the voices shaping Africa's economic future.
All African countries borrow on international markets. And if through this particular G20 agenda, we can encourage a situation where African countries find themselves with lower cost debt, then of course it enhances fiscal metrics and fiscal sustainability. Another area of commonality is related to resources. The continent is resource rich, whether it is base, precious metals, or even rare earth metals.
Brought to you by Standard Bank Group on 702. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Across the desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
25 minutes before 11 o'clock. On our Across the Desk feature this morning, I'm hosting teen mothers. I've got teenagers who are 19 years of age, Bianca Koza and Libuwane Chifango, and they've just been sharing their story with us around how they fell pregnant at the age of 16, how they found out, how the dynamics really changed with their partners, with their families. But I'm also glad that we are having a more reflective conversation about the lessons that have been learned and, of course, the advice for other young people out there. Because I know as parents, you do tell your children not to engage in certain things. Their parents told them exactly the same thing. But they're here to at least tell us what they've learned from it. And they're here to say to the other people, the other young people who are 16 today, who are 14, who are 18, who may want to engage voluntarily, even in sex at their age, that it's not worth it because you end up facing consequences like what they have faced, which changes a lot about you. But such a positive thing that they're still strong, they still have their dreams, they still want to pursue them, and they want to do that not only for themselves, but for their children as well. I want you to share your own experiences as well. Were you a teen mom? Did you fall pregnant at a young age? How did that change things for you? Give us a call on 011-883-0702. And I'd like to hear from the fathers as well. I worry that every time we talk about teenage pregnancy, we often center women only. And women have not made themselves pregnant. There's a process here. There's an activity that happens that involves a woman and a man. And that ends up in a child being conceived. As men, what conversations are you having? Were you a teen dad? And what lessons have you learned from that? 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. Tammy, let's start with you. You're calling us from Four Ways. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, Tammy. Go ahead, my brother.
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, so my experience was a little bit different, Clement. So I made my then girlfriend pregnant at 18. And then, so it was very positive. Like when I told my mother the news, she was thrilled about it. I also was not affected so much by it because we paid damages. Because I'm Zulu, we paid damages, and I have a beautiful 11-year-old daughter now, and I'm thriving in my career. I did my LLB at Wits, and I'm now a lawyer. So I'm happy that I conceived at that age. Yes, I'm not encouraging it for people to get kids at that age. But with me, I was an only child, so my mom was thrilled about it to have a granddaughter at that age. And now we are thriving. I live with my daughter now in 4 ways, and yeah, she's actually listening now, and we have the best relationship ever. So yeah, I had a bit of a different experience in terms of, having to raise my child at that age, go to varsity.
Were you in grade 12 at the time, Tammy, at 18?
No, I was in my first year.
First year, okay. How old was your girlfriend at the time?
She was in matric, so she was 17.
Okay. And you guys, when did things end between the two of you?
It ended like 5 years after that.
Okay, so it wasn't immediately after.
No, it wasn't immediately afterwards.
I see.
We had a thriving relationship. So I'm not encouraging it, Tim. Don't make any, don't have any misconceptions about that. I'm not encouraging it. But as an only child, it actually was a blessing for my family.
Got it. Tammy, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Tammy in 4 Ways. Pinky, you're calling us from Soshanguve. Good morning.
Good day. Not Clement, I was 15, Actually 15, and then immediately I told her I was pregnant. The support that I got from my grandmother, it changed. But ntse bua ke hore ngwana ka o godile o ile sekolong lena I'm running my company mara hona le bothata bo etsahetseng hore I don't have that good relationship le ngwanaka. It affects me daily. Le yena ya mo affecta. He's doing well, I'm doing well because lady support ya batswadi. And then Linda Kamone Kimupusha, the only thing that I managed to do for ask her for this I'm pregnant because Kimushman. And then now he's 29. He's doing well, Ushapu, Hanangwana, and encourage her he must make sure that he travels. He doesn't do the same mistake that I did. So Marajwanu Butata Kihore, I don't know if maybe I overprotected him. I tried to be open as much as I can. So Jwanu Kinadi Butata Hore relationship Wanaka Haisha and like give her emotional because Kintoka assistant as psychologist, I don't know.
Yes, and probably a psychologist is the way to go, Pinky, because these things are very nuanced and complex, and if you can have someone who can have a conversation with him, I think that's probably the best way to start. But in fact, I'll bring in Dr. Shahida Omar in a moment to tell us about the work that they're doing, and maybe you can pick up something from there around how to approach that. Let's go to Nomfundo, who's calling us from Joburg. Nomfundo, hi.
Nomfundo. Oh, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Lovely to speak to you again. Thank you to you, Clemmy, and to your listeners. I'm also a teenage mom. I had Opiwe. People ask me why his name, because his colored, is Opiwe. I gave him the name Opiwe Sopila because it was hard to be pregnant at 19. So the one thing that I'd like to encourage to the ladies there, would you raise your kids? I mean, I was a single mom for a long time. And now that his father has come to the fore, together with the family, you know my writing. I talk about that. So I hang in there, girls, and study hard. And make sure, Uguti, you raise the kids with love and values. Teach them not to litter. That's the one thing I tell my son, don't litter.
Yeah.
I know it sounds very strange, but it's the small things.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the little things, Namfunda.
It is. I need to say khohla ukuthi lahlela le. No, asilahleli. I need to lahlele thina sibancane. Don't lahlela.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm very grateful for your show.
Oh, thank you, Namfunda. Thank you for your call and for sharing your story. Terry, you're in Midrand. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I had your shout out for us teen kids. Yeah, so I thought I should just call. So I made someone pregnant was when I was I think 18, and then when the baby was born I was 19. But fortunately for the both of us, the parents were supportive, like entirely supportive. So we managed to get out of Limpopo and study and go back home to see the child and born with the child. And today here we are. Unfortunately, we broke up, but I'm still involved with the child, and I'm enjoying the young dad experience. So yeah.
How old are you now, Terry?
I'm 27 now.
27, okay. So, oh, geez, how old is your child? Must be, what, 6, 7 now?
Yeah, she's 7,
around there.
8.
Okay.
Somewhere there, yeah.
All right. Terry, in Midrand, thank you so much. I want to bring in Dr. Shahida Omar, and then I'm going to come back to Bianca and Libuwane. Dr. Shahida Omar is the director at Teddy Bear Clinic, works with, teen moms, works on other issues as well. In fact, we hosted her last week on the show, if you remember, when we were hosting NGOs, directors of NGOs. Dr. Omar, welcome back to the show. Thank you for coming through. I want you to just explain to explain to our listeners the kind of work that you do with teen moms and most of them whom you work with at the Teddy Bear Clinic. What are their circumstances? How did they end up falling pregnant?
Thank you, Clement. What an important question. So we work with children, and I don't euphemize it. I don't say teens. They're children, birthing children, a child until the age of 18. So we've been working with children who have been impregnated since COVID. Unfortunately, we were, requested to support a school that was in crisis in Orange Farm, where during the latter part of the year, 35 girls were impregnated from the same school. And the challenges are that this is not an intentional act of getting pregnant. I think we need to just steer away from the fact, but there are systemic issues here. We need to wear a lens with a systemic lens to see the many risk factors that children are faced with. The most important and glaring challenge is the breakdown in communications. Many of the children we've worked with, the information given back to us was the lack of paucity of knowledge around sex and sexuality, the breakdown of communication within the family structures. We know it's an awkward subject. As we speak, I sit on a multi-faith committee and across the country where the different denominations are wanting to break down this taboo around this awkwardness of how to engage and communicate with children. Even in a study we did with young sex offenders, 95% said they would have preferred to receive this kind of input information from their primary caregivers, and we're finding this is not happening. And of course, what are children exposed to today? The advent of technology, they're exposed to hardcore porn. By the time between the ages of 8 and 10, they've already been exposed to pop-ups and porn. And where do they take you? They obviously are dealing with this, and this is traumatic, it's confusing and reenacting, but also looking at gender-based violence, the toxic masculinity. In our interviews with young lads, where they have indicated, when we ask them, what do they understand by sex? The response is throwing a girl down, pulling off her shirt. It's synonymous with violence. And this all breaks down to communication. But we also need to look at, of course, there's online technology harm, but there's also lack of recreational facilities, opportunities for children to engage in constructive opportunities. And even if they want to do extracurricular activities, it costs money. Everything costs money. And we are dealing with children from, the landscape of South Africa. Majority of the children come from a background of poverty or impoverished context. So there are numerous risk factors that we cannot discount. The lack of supervision, single-headed households, child-headed households. I can continue, and I think this is a huge issue, but the impact thereof with our learners that we've worked with, it's the rejection, the humiliation, the stigma, the abandonment, health issues, infant mortality, maternal mortality, suffering from fistula because of their bodies not being programmed, ready to birth a baby.
Yeah, and these are some of the stories that Bianca and Libuwane have shared. Dr. Shahida Omar, thank you so much for coming through. It's 13 before 11.
For 3 consecutive years, Nedbank has been recognized as the best investment bank in South Africa at the Global Banking and Finance Review Awards. Whether helping clients navigate cross-border risks or building financing frameworks that support market reform, Nedbank is a partner in more than just capital. We're part of the architecture supporting Africa's renewable energy future. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
Progress builds, it moves, and it has a partner. That partner is Anglo-American. Together, we're building progress where it matters most across South Africa. With a 1 billion rand investment into education in our host communities, $15 million pledged to the Global Fund to support community-based health services, 1.6 billion rand in deals facilitated through our Impact Finance Network. And as a sponsor of B20 and G20, we're bringing that same spirit of partnership to a global stage, proving that when collaboration is real, progress moves faster. South Africa has a partner. Join the conversation on social media. Anglo-American, mining potential, building beyond.
Let's live more. Bring your daydreams to life with Norwegian Cruise Line, sailing to over 400 exciting destinations around the world on 21 spectacular ships. Explore iconic landmarks in Europe, hot islands in the Caribbean, and much more. When it comes to dream holidays, think NCL. For the best cruise deals, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
In case you missed it, 702 was in conversation with Santam about Santam's partnership with the G20 taking place in Johannesburg.
We've got an opportunity because Africa has got the youngest population, and that there needs to be focused in terms of harnessing this critical skill. But Africa is also prone and vulnerable to natural disasters. So what we've done, for instance, as Santam, is use the same template of a program like P4R to actually expand some of the programs to countries like Namibia.
Santam is a proud sponsor of the G20 Summit. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer, and the controlling company for its group of companies.
Across the desk
with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
10 minutes before 11 o'clock. We're just about to wrap our conversation with Bianca and Libuwane. As Dr. Omar said, these are children who have had children, and they are on a reflective journey, realizing the mistakes they've made and the kind of amends they've spoken to us about, the consequences of their decisions. I've got a question here. Someone on Twitter is asking, where is that? It says, hi, Clement. Please, Tony says, Clement, please can you ask your guest there, at the time when they were engaging in sexual intercourse, did they understand more about sex? Did you guys know what that is about? Like, I'm sure you guys were talking with your friends at that time, but did you know much about it and condoms or how to protect yourself?
No, we didn't know much about it.
Do you think you also didn't know much about it?
Yes.
But were you talking with your friends about it?
No.
You're not? So you're not scared to do something you've never done, never heard of? So did you feel that the boyfriends wanted it more than you did, or you genuinely both now you just wanted to try? Or do you think it was the boyfriends that were mostly asking that let's do this thing?
I just wanted to try.
You also just wanted to try it?
Yes.
And for you,
I just wanted to try.
Wanted to try?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know about contraceptives? Like,
no.
You didn't know about at 16?
No.
Sure. Like nobody spoke to you about like you can take an injection or a pill to avoid.
Oh, I know about it.
Yeah.
Ish.
Oh, so they told you like at home? Did they tell you about it at home? Did you hear about it at school or from your friends?
At school and my friends.
Oh, that you can take a pill or take an injection.
Yeah.
But you guys chose not to do it because you were not really engaging in sex at the time. Or were you scared?
Like, we're scared because they said if you use a prevention,
yes,
you won't have a child.
So it will affect you later. You will
body.
Never be able to have a child. That's what they told you.
Yes.
Oh, because I know some women are scared that they're going to gain a lot of weight, for instance, if they take certain pills or they take an injection. So these are stories that were going around in the community.
Yes.
Okay. And what about condoms? Did you know a lot about... Did the boyfriend suggest that, let's use a condom, or no?
No.
You didn't suggest that, hey, how about a condom? I mean, you were young, you didn't know much. So, but I think this helps the younger people who are going to listen to this conversation to know that if you want to engage in something like that, at the very least, protect yourself like this, Yes. What would be your advice to young people who listen to this conversation, who are 15, 16, what is your advice to them?
Mina advice yami ukuthi ungajaheli izinto.
Don't rush things.
Ungajaheli izinto. Linda isikhathi sizofika.
Okay.
Ngoba uzogcina uzithola unomntana uyingane.
Yeah, don't rush things. So wait for the time because you're going to end up having a child, and that's a huge responsibility. And for wena Bianca, advice yakho yini?
Ukuthi ayikho enye into enkulu ukudlula isikolo.
School is important, yeah?
Yes, nokuthi ulalela umzali.
And listen to your parents. That's very important. Yes. Yeah. No, I think that's really, really some good advice. Let's wrap up with your WhatsApps.
Hi, Clement. I'm just listening to your conversation with the girls, the young girls who have had children. And I represent Pathways Promise, a newly found non-profit. And what we do is help children in education. And I would like to offer to help these young girls through our non-profit with the stationery requirements for their young children when they are at school-going age. I know it may seem a long way away, but I also know that stationery is a very, very costly expense to many people, and many children go to school without it. So a stationery drive is something that we are focusing on at the moment. And if I could get in touch with them, or you could put me in touch with them, I'd love the opportunity to assist in the future. Thanks, and take care. My name is Heather, and I represent Pathways Promise.
Heather, thank you so much. Thank you. What a gracious thing to do. What I'll do is I'll put you in touch with the producers, and they'll get you in touch with Bianca and Libowani. But thank you so much. Thank you for your heart.
Hi, Clement. Last year I worked for a youth unemployment program that looked at NEET youth between the ages of 15 and 24. And we conducted several focus groups amongst young people, specifically in the Northern Cape. And it was really startling to see the number of teenage pregnancies. And a lot of this was a result of the system of care and the services that the young people are meant to access for kind of preventative care. Every time they went to a clinic or to a hospital, they were vilified for even wanting to take charge of their own personal well-being. And then even when they were pregnant, again, vilified because now you are having unprotected sex. So the system is really failing young people.
Good morning, Clement. Clement, it pains us as parents to hear such stories, knowing we still have a 16 or a 15-year-old daughter that is undergoing school. But it affects all of us as parents hearing this kind of stories. But the only thing that I think they need is a support system, of which I believe after this interview, there is something that you guys are going to make sure that you give to them as a platform, not to give up, but to hold on and to continue and to go and teach others at school not to fall pregnant at a very early age. Victor in Pelandaba.
Hello, Clement. I was 16 and my father had just passed on like 2 years ago, and my mother couldn't afford to raise us, so she asked my aunt to take care of me. And when I was staying at my aunt's at 16, I fell pregnant, and mind you, my sister was 9 years older than me and she didn't have a child. So I had to be given away. Like, I had to get married to that guy, and we got married. Luckily, we raised the child together, but we later on divorced. So now...
Yeah, that's okay. I think that cuts abruptly, but whoa. What a story. Thank you for sharing it with us. Bianca and Libuani, thank you for coming in. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. And I'm glad that you guys are sharing your stories with us to help other young people not make the same mistake. And I wish you all the best with your studies. Bianca, I can't wait to call you Dr. Koza. And Libuani, advocate. Chifango is what we will call you when you've qualified to be a lawyer and you're a senior advocate. Thanks for making time, yeah? And all the best. It's 2 minutes before 11. The sale of the season is coming. Gallagher Black Friday sale is around the corner. Discover luxury styles from iconic brands like Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger, premium denims, sneaker, accessories, and more. Your end summer of style awaits. Visit the Gallagher Black Friday sale from Thursday the 27th of November to Sunday the 30th of November at the Gallagher Convention Center in Midrand. First to come, first to style.
This festive, turn your family meetings into family eatings with the Nando's Festive Fill-Up Meal. A full flame grilled chicken, 2 sharing sides, 4 cheesy rissoles, 2 Cabo Societies, 2 Nando's rolls, and a 1.5-liter Coca-Cola for only $3.99 to enjoy at your place. And if your family meeting is at our place, get 40 Rand off. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
The Dial-A-Bed Black Friday sale is now on with 20% off absolutely everything. Start Black Friday shopping today and save thousands on all our best brands. 40 Winks, Sealy, Simmons, Dunlopillow, King Coil in all sizes, all less 20% and all ready for fast delivery. Dial-A-Bed. Sleep for life.
You can build a better future with 10x Investments, your guide to crafting a legacy the right way. Catch 702 in conversation with 10x Investments next Monday. Discover how you can secure your future financial wealth one smart investment at a time. Don't miss 702 in conversation with 10x Investments this next Monday on 702 Drive with John Pellman.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. More organizations have joined demonstrations to honor victims of gender-based violence and femicide in the country. Non-profit organization Women for Change is hosting a national shutdown, and people have gathered at the Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg, where a summit is taking place in solidarity with victims of abuse. As part of today's call to action, Women for Change has called on all women and the LGBTQ+ community to refrain from paid or unpaid work and not partake in the economy. One of the participants, Kiaribetswe Mupile, says they aim to raise these issues so that other parts of the world can know what is happening in the country.
So we want to take this opportunity to not make it just a national shutdown, but let it be a global shutdown. Have our global organizations amplify the issue.
In Cape Town, small groups of women dressed in black are already gathered at Sea Point Promenade. Carlo Peterson is there.
It's still a few hours before the demonstration formally gets underway, but small pockets of women dressed in black can already be seen walking up and down Sea Point Promenade. Thousands more are expected to brave the heat in Cape Town today to gather here to heed the NGO Women for Change's call for support. The NGO is hosting lie-downs across the country from 12 to 12:15 to mourn the 15 women murdered in the country every day. The organization has urged government to declare femicide a national disaster to free up more resources needed to tackle the scourge. Women for Change are also hoping the shutdown will spark broader conversations about deeply rooted cultural issues related to gender-based violence. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News at Sea Point Promenade.
The DA in Gauteng is urging authorities to fast-track the sale of assets seized from alleged Tembisa Hospital tender fraudster Hangwani Maumela. The party held a picket outside Premier Panyaza Lesufi's office yesterday, calling for the recovery of 2 billion rand looted from the hospital. Last month, the Special Investigating Unit seized nearly 150 million rand worth of assets, including luxury vehicles and high-end artwork. Gauteng DA Health spokesperson Jack Bloom says the seized assets should be sold without delay.
We demand the following. 1. A speedy process to sell off the seized assets so money is directly returned to assist hospital patients. Secondly, criminal charges against all those implicated in the looting, regardless of their high positions or political connections.
The Reserve Bank has revised its 2025 growth forecast up marginally to 1.3% amid renewed optimism about the country's stagnant economy. Growth was previously forecast at 1.2%. The central bank says growth is looking steadier than last year, and it says the second quarter outcome surprised on the upside and the third quarter indicators are looking broadly positive. The latest revision follows the final meeting of the central bank's Monetary Policy Committee yesterday, where the repo rate was lowered by 25 basis points to 6.75%. Reserve Bank Governor Lesotho Kganyago.
We continue to see growth nearing 2% over the forecast horizon.
And while it's been a turbulent year for the global economy, Kganyago says it's been better than expected for emerging markets.
In emerging markets, by contrast, inflation has eased. Indeed, 2025 has been better than expected for emerging markets. This is due to stronger capital flows and a weaker dollar, as well as favorable terms of trade.
And at least 3 people have been killed in a powerful earthquake that struck Bangladesh today. The 5.5 magnitude quake struck near the city of Nasingdi, about 33 kilometers from the capital, Dhaka. The earthquake sparked terror in the country of 170 million people. Gold is trading at $4,074.74 an ounce. The rand is at 17.23 to the dollar, 22.53 to the pound, 19.86 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.54 a barrel.
Well, at this hour in the traffic, allow for extra traveling time leaving Kempton Park heading towards the Joburg area. The R21 southbound remains closed off to traffic. This is between Atlas Road and Voortrekker Road. This is all due to the G20 delegate convoys making their way through the Nasrec, Sandton areas. Expect delays also. This is coming towards the OR Tambo International Airport leaving Tembisa, Pretoria. Expect about a 20-minute delay on the R23 Benoni off-ramp. Other routes affected by the G20 road convoys include the R24 westbound between Barbara Road and the Gululis interchange, as well as the N3 northbound between Linksfield Road and the Batlu interchange.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with afternoon thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 27. The top story in EWN this hour. More organizations have joined demonstrations to honor victims of gender-based violence and femicide in the country.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
7 minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Time for our relationship feature.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
Today on our relationship feature, we are tackling something that many of us have been affected by in one way or the other, directly or indirectly, and that is cheating. Why do people cheat? Have you cheated in your relationship? And if so, what do you think led you to do that? Almost everyone in a relationship, whether dating or married, has no desire to be cheated on or to instigate an unfaithful act. And yet, infidelity does happen, and quite frequently. And the definition of cheating, in fact, when you look at it, varies from person to person. Like, a lot of people have their own definitions of what cheating is. I asked someone this morning, have you cheated? And they said, not physically, because people actually have different definitions of cheating. But there's no doubt that any form of infidelity, whether it's physical or it's emotional, can have a devastating impact on the individual. It can have an impact on the partnership. And it's not just because the misconception that exists out there is that, lack of attraction is actually what compels people to commit infidelity. But research has suggested that it's actually more nuanced than that. And that's why we want to have a conversation about this, to understand those nuances. I want you to share your experience with us, no judgment. What are your experiences around cheating? Maybe you've been cheated on. Maybe you are the one that's cheated. What led you to cheat? I think you sharing your experiences will help us understand just the background story, the nuances. And that's not to say it's justified, but we get to understand why people often get to do this thing that they themselves would not like it being done towards them. You can share your experience with us on 011 883 0702. That's the number to call. Or you can send a WhatsApp on 072 702 1702. Paula Quincy is a relationship and life coach who's going to guide us through this conversation. Thank you for making time, Paula. Good morning. Hey, Paula, can you hear us? I think you're muted. Paula? Okay, let's try and sort out that line with Paula Quincy. Tell you what, let's take a quick ad break. I think she's still muted. We're going to try and sort out that line and then we'll start our conversation. But please keep your calls coming and your WhatsApps as well on 072 702 1702.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
How's this being viewed within the ranks in the SANDF itself? Where do you stand on this? Do you think most of your members would say, good for you, Vice Admiral, it's time somebody stood up and didn't just speak, but did so with a loud hailer?
The union doesn't take a particular stand with the Admiral or with the Minister in this case. We stand with the facts.
Yes.
Most of what the Admiral mentioned in his speech about, the decline of the Navy and the defunding of the SNDF in general, of course, we know this to be knowledge by now.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
Hollywood Bet invites you to take the lead. The sizzling summer competition is giving you a chance to bask in horse racing glory and blaze into red-hot rewards. Bet 50 Rand or more on horse racing online or at your nearest branch and you could win a share of 1 million Rand in prizes. Enjoy a star-studded lineup of equestrian events this summer and settle up for a season of success. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your number one choice. Home in One has it all.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Standard Bank and 702 have joined forces to bring you China Unlocked.
So obviously, rooibos is very unique to South Africa, that only grows in South Africa. So it's a real South African treasure that we can share with the rest of the world. And obviously, it's a very different tea to the teas that the Chinese are used to. What's interesting now is that the Chinese consumers has given rooibos their own name, and they call it Bosha Cha, which means basically the doctor's tea, which we are very happy with because it's so full of health properties. So that definitely helps the sale and, the trust in the product.
Don't miss China Unlocked on 702 Drive with John Perlman. Tuesdays on 702. Brought to you by Standard Bank Business and Commercial, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
on 702.
14 minutes after 11 o'clock, we're talking about cheating this morning on our relationship feature, trying to understand the psychology behind it, the nuances, because often we think it's just this one explanation. And I would like you to, if you can, be vulnerable with us this morning and share your own reasons of why you ultimately decided to cheat on your partner, maybe cheat on your spouse. What was it for you? Because I think the mistake we often make is think there's just this one reason, or they were not paying attention to me, or I had lost attraction to my partner, whatever the case is. But the differences are, the reasons are different. And I think to understand those nuances and what the cheating actually has to do with, whether it's the next person or it's got more to do with yourself, helps us get there. So please share your thoughts with us on the WhatsApp line. Give us a call as well if you want. Paula Quincy, we've got you now on a better line. I hope you can hear us now. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. I can hear you loud and clear. Good to be with you again.
Perfect. Paula Quincy is a relationship and life coach. So, Paula, why is infidelity such a common and deeply confusing betrayal? I just want us to start there.
Yeah, I mean, the betrayal goes deep, right? Because it's on an emotional level. And when it comes to relationships, we are emotionally invested and emotionally connected to our partners. And, we share intimate moments. And when I say intimate, I'm not just talking about physical. I'm talking about we share deep and meaningful stuff that is personal to us. You mentioned earlier, being vulnerable. When we're with partners, we become vulnerable. We share, our inner thoughts, our inner feelings with these people that we share our life with. And so when it comes to cheating, that betrayal can do a lot of damage.
What actually counts as cheating in today's world of emotional connections, of digital intimacy, micro cheating? Because I said earlier that people, when you ask someone, oh, have you cheated? They'll often ask, okay, but my definition of cheating doesn't involve like emotional connection, or for them they'll say, okay, cheating to me is when you've had sex with the other person, or not that, or it's more when you have built a connection, when you've fallen in love with someone else. You can have sex with them, that will hurt me, but cheating is when you have fallen in love with them. So we all have our different definitions, but what is it in this world where how we connect with people has really expanded?
And that's a good question to have as couples, as a discussion, as what clarifies as cheating in your world and in your mind, because one thing in one person's world could be very different in the other. So in one partner's world, the fact that you've actually done the deed and slept with someone, that's cheating. In the other partner's world, the fact that you're texting someone behind my back and I don't know about it, that's cheating. So it's a good conversation for couples to have to clarify what the boundaries are, and when you've crossed that boundary, what the consequences are. So yes, cheating can be you've physically done the deed and you've had sex with someone. It could be that you are emotionally connected and emotionally invested with someone and sharing intimate stuff with them that you should actually be sharing with your partner. And micro cheating is those little things where it's kind of crossing the line. You might not have done something, so you're flirting with someone and you can turn it around and go, oh, but it was innocent, it meant nothing, but the fact is the impact that it is having on your partner, it still causes hurt and pain. And so the question to ask yourself is, if my partner was doing this to me, would I be okay with it? And if not, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Which is interesting because, often when the person who's been cheated on returns the favor, for lack of a better phrase, it becomes so painful for most people who say, but how could you do that? And the partner will say, but you did it to me. So you didn't think about those consequences. So I like what you say, Paula, that ask yourself, would I like this being done to me? And if not, then is it the best thing to do? Of course, infidelity is often less about attraction and more about complex emotional or relational issues, isn't it? What are the most common core reasons people cheat?
Yeah, as human beings, we don't wake up in the morning and go, today I'm going to have an affair and find the first person that comes across our path and have an affair with them. It doesn't work like that, right? We generally have affairs because there is something missing, either inside of us and or in our relationship. And so we are seeking that elsewhere. And so when it comes to couples and having affairs or infidelity, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, because your emotional needs are not being met in some way, form, or shape in your relationship. And perhaps you've tried to get those needs met, you've tried to have discussions with your partner, and it's just not forthcoming. And so over time, couples do become emotionally disconnected from each other, and they start getting those needs fulfilled elsewhere. And so typical environment would be the office, for example, and having an office affair, because you spend a lot of time with people in the office. And you start forming a bond and a connection. It could also be through, sports and hobbies and other interests. It's when you start forming a connection with someone else that starts filling that need or that void or that gap that either your partner is not filling in your relationship, or that you are chasing within yourself, and you haven't done the work to actually get to what's underneath that and why you are chasing to fill that void.
What I'm trying to understand more the void within you that you're chasing to fill, because there are other people who will say the relationship is perfect. We communicate with each other, we enjoy spending time with each other, the sex is good with each other, we stimulate each other intellectually. So what is the problem then? If someone then has to look within and look at the void that they're trying to fill, what is that? What is that void from your experience that people often want to fill? So it's not so much the relationship or the next person, your spouse, but you are the problem, so to speak.
Yeah, so there's a number of reasons or elements. And so things like self-esteem, self-worth, self-belief, we're seeking that validation externally as opposed to getting it from within ourselves. So not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving of. And that's got a lot to do with our upbringing, because that's where our emotional foundation is formed. And then we can start going down that road of attachment types and attachment theories and that. So it's really about going internal within yourself and looking at your relationship patterns and going, what are my relationship patterns telling me? What are the things that I keep doing over and over again? What are the things that my partners have complained about or had frustrations or issues with, or that I couldn't give them? And that's where you start going inside and going, what are the voids inside of me that's causing me to respond and react in these ways? And that's one of the ways that I do that is I seek that external validation in the form of having an affair.
And how does emotional drift or even a lack of a communication feed into that decision to cheat?
So from an emotional lack, so you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled or connected with your partner and or yourself for that matter. And so you're constantly seeking that emotional connection. And this is why, serial cheaters, for example, and I'm generalizing a lot here, so it's not as simple as this, but serial cheaters will hop from one relationship to the next because that excitement of that initial stages, the in love feeling, that kind of high of being in love is what they're seeking, because in that moment they feel loved and excited and happy and all of these things, but it's unsustainable in the real world, right? Which is why we go through the different stages of a relationship. And when the relationship starts shifting and starts settling down into a more settled sort of routine and we get more comfortable with each other, they feel that excitement and the thrill and that's gone, and the relationship has now become boring, or we're not compatible, or you've changed, you're not the person I fell in love with anymore. And so then they seek out and they hop to another relationship. So that's one example of that emotional connection or void that we're not getting fulfilled.
And of course, other people will hop to the next thing, not because they're falling in love with the person, but because they just want to have sex with them. So what could then be behind that? Because it's not so much that they're excited by they're in love. They're not. They just want to engage sexually with the next person, and then when that's done, they'll move on to the next thing.
So there's two extremes here. In the beginning stages of a relationship, it's about infatuation, lust, and attraction. It's not necessarily real love. As our relationship evolves and goes into that next stage, sort of the real love starts settling in. On the other side of the extreme is potentially, addiction, so sex addiction and those kind of things that could be driving someone to hop from one relationship to the next. Or the way that they only feel that they can connect with someone is through sex. They haven't learned how to connect and attach with someone emotionally outside of the physical side of a relationship.
Yeah. So sometimes when you speak to men, particularly, I mean, of course, some women often, when we have similar conversations on the show, men will say, yeah, but I've got unmet sexual needs. And that plays into driving me into infidelity. Some people mention like long distance relationship or alcohol or, work environments create that, cheating opportunity. You spoke about the work environment earlier. Do you think that having conversations with your spouse, with your partner about also things that excite you actually helps? Because sometimes you are happy with your partner, but there are certain sexual, desires that you have that often would lead you to go to outside. So for instance, you and your partner, maybe the way you have sex is too ordinary, nothing refreshing. But when you step outside, that's where you become more creative and more like your fetishes are sort of met outside. And yet, if you spoke to your partner about it and you discussed how to better even your sex life, you could find that the very same things you get outside, you could get here. So what I'm trying to understand is, from your experience, do you think relationships are strong enough these days to have that conversation, or opening the door to that conversation is what actually may start a fight that ultimately leads to a separation. Because someone will feel insufficient or inadequate and say, oh, why are you even bringing this conversation up? That means I'm not satisfying you.
Yeah, and this is one of the areas that couples do struggle around, having these courageous conversations or these vulnerable conversations around, what I like and what I don't like and what's a deal breaker for me when it comes to the sexual side of their relationship, and sexual compatibility. One partner might be a little bit more conservative than the other based on their upbringing. And so this is, where couples need to do that hard work and work through these issues together and be able to, explore. And the thing is, as you go through your relationship and your relationship becomes more routine, our sex life becomes more routine. So this is where couples need to continuously evolve in their relationship and the physical side of their relationship to become better lovers. Because as we grow and evolve, our needs grow and evolve as well. We change as individuals. As we get older, we may get more self-conscious about our bodies being out of shape and not the way we were when we were 20 or 30, that kind of thing. So, couples struggle to have these conversations because it can be taken the wrong way, and that I'm not satisfying you, I'm not enough for you, I'm not good enough for you anymore. Where it's not necessarily that, right? So this is where it would help for couples to go and seek therapy or seek a professional, even a sex therapist, to help them work through this part of their relationship.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear from our listeners now on 011-883-0702. Joe, you calling us from Lenasia South. Good morning. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Clement. Good morning to you and your
morning.
Guest, the listeners. Sorry, I'm actually speaking from experience because I'm on my third marriage, and it's working perfectly well since I've developed a new value system. I think as a youngster, we come from culture, from environments where value systems are driven in a specific way. For example, for me as a youngster, I appreciated more the validation feeling that I got from friends and colleagues saying, "Oh, this guy he's dangerous. He's got a yellow bone today. Look at that one. Look at this one." Describing different female features that made us, feel important in our communities or little communities where we used to stand around the corner and look at girls and say, "Yeah, the one who can get that one, he's cock." You know what I mean? And through my first marriage, I didn't understand this because I was a young DJ, successful, small businesses here and there. I had multiple partners. I had friends, lots of friends. Little did I realize that at the time that these value systems, although not specifically designed, they were directly impacting all the other things that I wanted to achieve as a youngster, like financial stability, family stability, relationship stability. These were all impacted because I didn't know how to develop or frame my value system. And when I started realizing that, one, it's going to take me to develop my value system, and secondly, to clearly understand that, love is a choice. It's a choice that you consciously make that is directly related to how you want to live your life in the future.
Yeah.
It was too late. My second marriage was gone. But on my third marriage, I began to be more innovative, creative in terms of how I look at life, being more open to my partner, explaining what this value system is so that we are both aligned, and thinking about different things that we can achieve in the future, and adding these to the things that the clues that held us together.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, thank you for sharing that with us, man. And I'm glad that you found your center and the value system that's at least allowing you to enjoy this third marriage now. And I wish you all the best with it. Thanks, man. It's 11:30 now. I've got some more WhatsApp voice notes and some calls coming through, so we'll get to them after the latest Eyewitness News headlines. Mbali, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. More organizations have joined demonstrations to honor victims of gender-based violence and femicide in the country. Non-profit organization Women for Change is hosting a national shutdown today. Demonstrators have gathered at Constitution Hill in Johannesburg, where a summit is also taking place in solidarity with victims of abuse. As part of today's call to action, Women for Change has called on all women and the LGBTQI+ community to refrain from paid or unpaid work and not to partake in the economy. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer was the latest world leader to arrive in South Africa for this weekend's G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg this morning. Starmer landed at the O R Tambo International Airport, joining other world leaders like Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who touched down yesterday. And at least 3 people have been killed in a powerful earthquake that struck Bangladesh today. The 5.5 magnitude quake struck near the city of Narsingdi, about 33 kilometers from the capital, Dakar. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage, if you're leaving Kempton Park, allow for extra travelling time. Sporadic road closures affecting routes. This is the R21 southbound between Atlas Road and Voortrekker Road. This is all due to the G20 delegate convoys making their way through Ekurhuleni, heading towards Joburg, Sandton and Nasrec area. So at this stage, you can expect about a 20-minute delay. That's on the R21 southbound between the R23 Pinoni off-ramp and OR Tambo International Airport. Other routes restricted to traffic include the R24. That's between Barbara Road and the Gilulis interchange, as well as the N3 northbound between Modderfontein Road and the Patlui interchange. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in the Four Ways area. This is between Witkoppen and Cedar Road. At this stage, if you're leaving Boksburg heading towards Bedfordview, also bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's on the N12 westbound between Croft Road and the R24 merge. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
As leaders in renewable energy finance, Nedbank has a track record spanning over 100 years. From pioneering large-scale solar and wind farms to financing complex energy infrastructure in emerging markets, Nedbank offers clients deep sector expertise, combined with the ability to navigate the unique challenges of Africa's just energy transition. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
Kick off to glory with Hollywood Bets and Aziz Shege. Be in the game. Go full speed ahead with the epic competition. You stand to win a share of 4 million rand in cash and prizes, including an all-new Toyota Corolla Cross. Bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures online or at your nearest branch. Live life in the fast lane. Bet now for your chance to score. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Mr. Govender, congrats on the retirement. You just sold your car to We Buy Cars. Tell us about it.
Yes, it just gathered dust in the garage, so I exchanged it for cold hard cash. Now my wife and I can enjoy a stress-free retirement.
Retiring the car as you retire. Nice. So why We Buy Cars?
It was so quick. They came over to our house to do the evaluation, and we sold it the same day. Tops, man.
Okay, so now you got even more time on your hands, eh?
Exactly.
We Buy Cars. Geared for your next chapter. Geared for you.
In case you missed it, 702 was in conversation with Santam about Santam's partnership with the G20 taking place in Johannesburg.
We've got an opportunity because Africa has got the youngest population, and that then needs to be focused in terms of harnessing this critical skill. But Africa is also prone and vulnerable to natural disasters. So what we've done, for instance, as Santam, is use the same template of a program like P4R to actually expand some some of the programs to countries like Namibia.
Santam is a proud sponsor of the G20 Summit. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer, and the controlling company for its group of companies.
Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
On 702.
24 minutes before 12 o'clock, we're in conversation with Paula Quincy, who is a relationship and life coach, on our relationship feature this morning about cheating. Why do people cheat? The nuances, the reasons behind someone taking a decision to go outside of their marriage, outside of their relationship. It's not as easy as we think it is, but there are nuances around infidelity. And Paula Quincy has explained that sometimes it's something missing within you. That's why you end up cheating on your partner. And we don't communicate enough because there are certain things that you think are unmet needs that you try and go get outside that you could actually get in your relationship or in your marriage if only you started a conversation. I want to go to your WhatsApp voice notes now that have come through on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Clement. I've been looking forward to this topic. I was cheated on, and his reasonings, because I wanted to find out why he cheated on me, so that we can pursue the relationship after the cheating. And it was obviously because he felt that the other lady, was more encouraging and more goal orientated, and all those things. I tried to make it work, but unfortunately once you cheat, it's so hard to find trust again within that person. You find yourself going through phones every day. So it wasn't worth it for me, so I just left him. Unfortunately, till this day, I really struggle with trusting. I haven't been in a relationship ever since. It's been 3 years. So it has devastating results, unfortunately.
Hi, 702. This is Omri. I've been cheated on. And for me, I took the high road and said, well, okay, if that's what you want, because I love you, then you can move on. But for me, cheating is like the ultimate no. So if it happens to me again, I'd be out the door. Thank you.
Morning, Clement. My girlfriend cheated a week ago. She says she cheated because I don't give her money. Just money. So I don't know whether I was wrong or she's wrong or which is which. But she cheated. Oksala, she cheated. And that's the reason.
So, wait, she cheated because she says you don't give her money. Yeah, Paula, how do you even fix that? Like in a relationship, how do you center yourselves again and try to resolve something like that when a partner says, well, I went outside because you don't give me money, so I've gone out to look for it outside?
Yeah, I would want to understand more about this relationship in terms of, is it a transactional relationship? So why is this partner in the relationship? Is it just for the money? Does she really care about this person? Or on the other side of it is she financially dependent on this person and doesn't have any income of her own? And is that a form of, control? So I'd want to understand more about this relationship, but it definitely would be sitting down and having this conversation in terms of the quality and the health of their relationship to get to the root cause. And then if they do want to continue this relationship forward, how do they go about, having these honest conversations, rebuilding the trust, clarifying what the ground rules of the relationship are, and then committing and both co-creating the trust in the relationship going forward.
Yeah.
Clement. Shumani, Clement on cheating. Cheating is cheating. There's no way you can say people need to explain cheating. Right now, I'm going through something which is very, very difficult for me. I want to tell you that my wife cheated. And the worst part is my wife slept with somebody that I know, and the person know that I'm married to this woman. And the sad part is the excuses that I was given. It's like I'm a baby. That's how I was treated. Everything was treated like I'm the cause of it. I was a baby and stuff. But it really hurts. Cheating. Like even now, this happened a long time ago, but even now it's still killing me.
Hi, Clement and your guest. I'm just wondering, could cheating also be like genetic? So maybe if you saw your parents, one of your parents cheating, or it's something that's really prevalent in your family, could that also be passed down to you, or is it just an excuse?
Jeez, okay. So, Paula, I'm assuming that that's what she's been told before, that, well, this thing happens in my family and maybe that's why I'm engaging in it as well. In your experience, Paula, because there are people who have been raised in families where they witness cheating, but they don't do it. There are people that have been raised in families where there was no cheating and yet they are doing it. Have you found a correlation between what people were exposed to when they were growing up at home with what they then express when they're adults?
Yeah, so look, our upbringing definitely does play a role in what shapes us and influences us as human beings and what our vision of a relationship or a healthy relationship looks like and feels like. So if we've grown up in an environment where one of our parents cheated, we could follow in those footsteps because to us it is the norm. It is something that happens. Or we could go the extreme opposite and vow to never be like that and never do that because being able to see the damage that it causes or that it did cause to one of our parents. So yes, our upbringing definitely plays a role in how we see relationships and how we forge relationships with others, how we're able to be vulnerable, how we're able to resolve conflict, how we're able to communicate. It's all formed largely in our childhood and then shaped and influenced as we go through different relationships.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, Clement, and your guest. I just want to find out here. Can an environment where you come from, being exposed to cheating by a lot of people, also make you to want to be a cheater? Because from my own experience, I am married, but I just can't stop cheating. So I'm not too sure if this whole thing is psychologically inflicted in me, because in the environment where I come from, I've just been exposed to seeing people cheating, and I also just can't stop. But I don't know the reason why I'm cheating. There is absolutely no reason for me to cheat. Please ask your guest there. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. Whew, yeah, Paula?
Yeah, definitely. The environment that we've grown up in will influence it. So if you've grown up in an environment where cheating was the norm, it happened all the time, you are influenced to think that that is the norm and it's okay, and that is how relationships are. You don't actually know what a healthy relationship looks like because you've never actually experienced one, right? So you then replicate or play out those deeply ingrained belief systems and behavioral traits in your adult relationships, right? So then linked to that, it could be, there could be some form of addiction, so sex addiction involved. So I would really recommend that this person does seek professional help to get to the root cause, because cheating is a choice at the end of the day. We are not born cheaters, we become cheaters. And that's a choice to cross that line and make that decision, right? In extreme cases, yes, you can be, born with psychopathic or narcissistic traits, and that's a whole different discussion. But the general average person it's a choice to cheat. And we need to get to the root of why am I choosing to cheat when I have no reason to cheat?
Yeah.
What is that underlying reason or factor that I'm willing to throw consequences to the wind and follow through on that action?
Yeah. And as you said, sometimes it's just looking from look within, because you may get some ideas on why you're doing that. Maybe something is missing, and maybe seeing a therapist and beginning to talk to someone may be the beginning.
I think
also
we
to
underestimate the
recognize-
power of sex drive in relationships. We just think that somewhere, somehow, love conquers all. Yes, love conquers all, but the sex drive is the most thing that makes people end up cheating. Because if the sex is terrible, people look for somewhere else. That's what drive. I'm not talking about serial cheaters. Of course, serial cheaters, they have their own problems, because you can't be sleeping with multiple people every now and then and find it okay. But I'm just talking about the people who end up cheating. It's because we underestimate the sex drive. You go for months without having sex with your partner. There's definitely a problem there, but we don't want to address it. I don't know why, the poor communication and stuff. And then we end up sleeping with other people outside of your own relationship. I think for me, the power is in the sex drive. Communicate, talk about it, and that's how it works.
Hi, Clement. Very, very interesting topic this. So I'd just like to give in my input on this one. So I've been divorced for over 4 years because I got cheated on, but not only just on one occasion. And upon having a discussion with my ex-wife, because we still at least in very good communication, my lack of experience was an issue because she was the only person I've ever slept with. So I mean, I'm now in my late 30s. And I've only just had only one sexual partner. She was the only one. So she basically took my virginity, and then having to take into account the fact that she's already had experiences and expectations that led to a lot of demise in our relationship, which led to other things then, which, unfortunately led to the end of the relationship. So, I'd like to just hear a guy's opinions on this one, because I don't want to feel that guys are always the ones who are always doing the cheating. I always want to find out what led to them doing the cheating. But thank you very much. Please keep me anonymous. Thank you.
Yeah, and as you've heard, some of the guys just cheat. And they have no reason to cheat, but somehow they find themselves doing it. So all sorts of reasons. And someone else mentioned the sex drive. Earlier, I'll get Paula to respond to that after the break. It's 12 minutes before 12.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
The loud conversation about the decision by the United States under Donald Trump to boycott the G20. I must be honest with you that I don't understand it. Oh, man. It's one country. They've decided they don't want to come. The other 19 are coming. Can we just get on with it? What if your biggest bully is not as scary as you think he is anymore? There was a time. Maybe Donald Trump is no longer as scary as he used to be. He's a sweet old man who's a little eccentric. And just need to move on, eh?
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
As leaders in renewable energy finance, Nedbank has a track record spanning over 100 years. From pioneering large-scale solar and wind farms to financing complex energy infrastructure in emerging markets, Nedbank offers clients deep sector expertise, combined with the ability to navigate the unique challenges of Africa's just energy transition. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
At Chamberlain's, there's something for everyone. From building supplies for the home renovators to garden essentials for the homemakers. From power tools for the DIY doers to painting supplies for the patio Picassos. We even have coffee for the slightly sleepy and snacks for the young ones. And for the ones who can never quite find what they're looking for, we have you covered too. With our promise to find and source whatever you need. Chamberlain's, famous for hardware since 1903.
Those trusty old shoes, there for your first move out of home. That marathon training that lasted a day, the quick runs to the store, the long nights out. Yeah, they've done the most for you. But with the Street Store, they can do even more for someone else. Visit thestreetstore.org to find out more about donating your pre-loved shoes and clothes to the world's first rent-free pop-up clothing store for the homeless. Donate before December 6, 2025.
Relationship issues?
Relationship talk.
On 702.
10 minutes before 12 o'clock. We're going to get to more of your WhatsApp voice notes in a moment. Paula, you can reflect to some of the voice notes that came through. Someone did say in one of the voice notes we played that sometimes it's about the sex drive. Have you heard that before as a reason for people who have gone out who said, well, there was our sex drive is not compatible with my partner, and therefore that's why I've stepped out?
Yes, this is something that does come up between couples when one partner has a higher libido or sex drive than the other. And this is where couples can work through this and find a middle ground for each other, that they can still have a mutually satisfying sex life together. It also would be to understand, well, what is contributing to that sex drive? Is it just naturally who I am, that I have a naturally high libido and sex drive, or is it something underneath that is causing me to chase and want to have sex all the time? It could be like the other caller mentioned, and from an inexperienced point of view, where one partner is more experienced than the other. And this is where couples can learn and teach each other and help each other become better lovers by having these conversations around, this is what I enjoy. This is what turns me on. This is what turns me off. This is what I don't like. This is a no-go zone for me. I'm not prepared to, try that or do that because that makes me uncomfortable. And couples need to have these conversations.
Yeah. Someone else, there was a message here that I thought would be important to reflect on. There's someone who says, "Hi Clement, thank you for this conversation. For me, it was revenge cheating, something I thought I would never do. Nothing much happened, but I hated myself for doing the same thing that he did. But he has cheated many, many times, and my self-esteem was at its lowest." How often do you come across this scenario where people end up cheating because their partners have cheated? And I know a lot it's women who would share that experience and say, well, he cheated too many times. My self-esteem was on the floor and I just needed to revenge. And I needed also to do something that reminds me that, I'm still that girl, so to speak, to avenge.
Yeah, it does happen. Not often or a lot of the time. And I think, the people that have done it, generally after the fact, they don't feel that good about themselves. Revenge cheating, revenge sex hardly ever, kind of repairs the damage that has been done initially by your partner that's cheating. Yes, it could, feel good for a while that you got one up on the other, but it doesn't make you feel good inside about yourself as a person necessarily.
Hi, morning, Clement, and your guest. In regards in cheating is a personal choice. We are adults as we are, and you choose to break another person's trust. You choose to invite another person into your life, and then you just justify it by giving reasons. It's a discipline. Those who don't have discipline cheat. It's as simple as that. It's not genetic. It's behavioral. And then there's no much of an excuse that you can say. Simple as that. You cheat because of your ill-discipline. It's just simple as that.
Okay, we'll go to some more WhatsApps. Here are some of the texts that have come through. Anonymous says, Clement, I just caught up with your conversation now. So I have cheated before. It was in my marriage. And though I know very well that there are no excuses, I must tell you, I hold no regret whatsoever. It stemmed from not getting the emotional attention at all from him. Ours was a distant marriage, one, and despite my many cries to him to stop neglecting me in our marriage by not calling, not checking up at all on not only myself but our kids too, like zero involvement in our lives. He just continued with the same behavior, which perpetuated the cheating. That's a message there from Anonymous. Another one says, Clement, I cheated in all forms you can think of because my partner couldn't fulfill any of my needs. They were emotionally detached. I was lonely and I couldn't connect sexually. I decided to stop the cheating because that's not who I am or who I want to be. I'm not ready to talk about it because things are still the same or worse with my partner, and I'm questioning why I am with them apart from the kids we have. We don't talk about anything except running the household. Oh, yeah, Paula, I mean, nobody wants to be in a relationship or a marriage like that.
Definitely not. That's what we call a transactional relationship, where it's just, superficial. It's all about the day-to-day chores, and there's very little connection, love, care, nurturing, kindness, empathy, support. And that's what we need as human beings, and that's what we need in our relationships. That's what makes our relationships survive and thrive. And so, yes, this person needs to really ask themselves, is it worth it staying in this relationship? And like your other caller said, it's not about lack of trying, it's about lack of reciprocation. We've tried, we've begged, we've pleaded, we've cried to try and get our needs fulfilled. Sometimes that in itself pushes the person away because they don't know how to deal with that, because it can come across in a way that is seen as criticizing and fault finding. So it drives them further away. And this is where I really want to recommend, that couples go and seek professionals and get professional help to help get to the root cause of it, and how can they create connection going forward to rebuild the intimacy and the communication and the nurturing in their relationship that makes it thrive.
Yeah. Yo, Paula Quincy, thank you so much. Always appreciate your insights. Paula Quincy is a relationship and life coach. And thanks to all of you who have shared your experiences as well. It's 3 minutes before 12.
Let's count backward. 5, insurance. 4, pineapple. 3, insurance. 2, pineapple. 1, you're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
A man driven to the edge. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you're with. When his beloved takeaway was taken away. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will eat you.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia, connecting the Thaiway.
The Dial-A-Bed Black Friday sale is now on with 20% off absolutely everything. Start Black Friday shopping today and save thousands on all our best brands. 40 Winks, Sealy, Simmons, Dunlopillow, King Coil in all sizes, all less 20% and all ready for fast delivery. Dial-A-Bed, sleep for life.
Coming up
on the Midday Report.
All right, so Jane Dutton is in for Mandy Winner, so you can listen to that after the news at 12 o'clock. But let me thank you for listening to the Friday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. Remember, this weekend we're going to be broadcasting live from the G20 Summit, so we're going to be running a special show. I will be live with you tomorrow, I think from 9 o'clock until 11 or so. Stephen Grotes will pick up as well in the afternoon, because we want to give you the latest coming out of the G20 Summit. The world leaders have descended on Gauteng, and there are going to be some really important conversations taking place over the weekend. And, of course, there's going to be an update as well on whether or not America is going to come. Even if they're doing it as a ceremonial affair, is our president going to agree to hand over the gavel to the United States in the form of what they've described as a junior delegation? So all of that expected this coming weekend, but we'll give you the latest here on 702. Have a beautiful weekend, my friends. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Lamini. Let's begin with news just in. Government has officially classified gender-based violence and femicide a national disaster. This follows growing concerns over the abuse of women and children